We're down to one last race in the 2022 season. After 35 races, 5,000 laps, and over 9 months of virtual racing competition on the iRacing platform, 4 drivers are left to do battle for the Barr Visuals FTF Cup. The number 099, Brandon Hawkins, a 4-time winner on the season. He had the most points among winners in the Kicking the Tires round of 8 to advance. The number 29, Kevin King, punched his ticket again before anyone else, advancing after scoring the victory at Las Vegas Motor Speedway 3 weeks ago. The number 120, Wyatt Tinsley. He had an eNASCAR star breathing down his neck in the closing moments at Homestead as he won and advanced to Phoenix. Finally, the number 99, Michael Cozy Jr. He had to win to get in. He did just that at Martinsville to move forward to tonight's championship round.
Brandon Hawkins, he wins it at Charlotte. Kevin King is going to lock himself into the championship 4.
Nobody's going to be Wyatt Tinsley, the winner in Homestead.
Michael Cozy Jr. wins the race at Martinsville.
Strap in. We've got 200 laps ahead of us to figure out who takes it all at Phoenix.
Tries to hold on to the bottom. Here comes Gisette. They make contact. They touch once, twice, 3 times.
Foul trouble! Oh, no, Rocky into the wall. Big crash front straightaway. Huge crash coming into the triangle. No, Rocky up and into the air.
They're beating and banging. Burn on the bottom, Cosman up top. I can't
Kaufman,
call
I
it.
think. No! Breyer by 1/1000th of a second. Joseph, no! At the line, Thunhorse pulls the win out at the stripe.
Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here?
Here comes the canvas. Get your foot down. He got it. He's got it. He's got it. Canvas is going to win.
Thousand laps, 20 different winners, all setting the table for the final 4 drivers to race their way for a championship. As we welcome you to the virtual Phoenix Raceway in Avondale, Arizona for the Kicking the Tires Championship 4 finale here at Phoenix. Glad to have you along for the ride one final time this season on FTF.GG. Jacob Pitts, Sean Butler here with you. And Sean, this racetrack different from what we saw in the spring. We were at the old version when we were here back in March. This time around, we're here at the new version, and that's going to present a couple more different challenges for these guys this time around.
And it definitely is. You know, the finish line is where it is actually, supposed to be now at the actual track. So these guys will have plenty of time to get acclimated to the new surroundings as you see drivers making their way around the track for their qualifying efforts. So I'm using it to get a little extra practice laps in. But this is going to be another one of those fantastic races. Last year's championship finale came down to fuel mileage and who could save the most, and we had a pretty dramatic finish last year with Tyler Gary winning the championship. So a different set of drivers now with a chance to bring the title home, and we'll see if we got enough drama in us this year. But nonetheless, should be an exciting race throughout, and I'm excited to see who we crown as champion tonight.
Well, there's been a lot of drama. Oh my.
Nate Stewart.
That's Nate Stewart up and over here in qualifying. There's been a lot of drama leading into this race, particularly through the last 4 weeks of the playoffs. It has been wild to set the table for what was the round of 8 and now the round of 4. We started with 16 drivers at the beginning of the playoffs some 9 weeks ago. Every 3 weeks we've whittled that down just like the NASCAR Cup Series, and we're here with our final 4 now that are here to race their way for a championship. And if you look just at the points overall, it makes sense. These 4 drivers that are fighting for a championship, Michael Cozy Jr., Brandon Hawkins, Kevin King, Wyatt Tinsley, But there are some guys that have dominated this season, at least consistently. Michael P. Frisch, Blake Reynolds, Brian Mercurio. They're on the outside looking in. They are not going to have a shot to race for a championship here tonight.
Definitely, and that's kind of what the product of this format is now. Is you could be the most consistent and you could be the most dominant all throughout the season, but if you're not winning and getting yourself in at the end of the season, well, it's tough luck. Just like all the other major sports, you go through hot streaks, peaks and valleys. But if you're not good at the right time, it's going to affect you in a negative way. And in terms of guys like, of course, Frisch has probably the most consistent finishing regimen out of anybody in the league, and Blake Reynolds, of course, has a bunch of wins to his name. All those guys will be spectators in this race. Well, they'll be participating, of course, but they want to have a chance to get the championship. And we know one guy that affects a lot. He's been, I don't want to say complaining, but it's been weighing on his mind a lot, is Michael P. Frisch. So maybe next year he can come in as one of the favorites, but it's going to be tough for those guys to watch those other four going for the title tonight.
At this point in time, we'll get a chance to talk with each of our Championship 4 drivers here during pre-race. We set the table, talk about what they had to go through to get to this point. We start with, excuse me for 1 second, I think I might sneeze. No, maybe, I think we're good. Okay, yeah. Let's start with Kevin King. It's that time of year. Nonetheless, Kevin King, 3 wins. I did wind up sneezing after all. Kevin King, 3 wins on the season, locked himself into the playoffs at New Hampshire, captured the flag at Michigan, went on to win the round of 8 opener at Las Vegas, punching his ticket to Phoenix on the season this year. 12 top 5s, most out of the Championship 4 drivers, 16 top 10s, 189 playoff points, second in the series, and most out of the Championship 4. And 5 stage wins as well. Kevin King joins the program, and, well, this is it. One last shot to give yourself the opportunity to go for the Barr FTF Cup Series Championship. And take us through your thoughts coming into pre-race.
I'm ready, man. I just, I'm going through the pro stuff. I'm doing I've got this race and I got one tomorrow at one of my better tracks, I feel like, and was able to get the pole here. So I feel like I have a good handling of how this car drives. So the confidence is up there. I just need to make sure that I don't go too crazy with trying to lead all these laps, or if someone passes me, get too wound up with that stuff. So it's a long race. I'm not sure how many tire sets we have, so I think it'll be good. Hopefully everyone keeps their heads on straight and they don't go nuts, and we have good green flag run, because I think that's where I'll hopefully be pretty good.
You finished 14th here back in the spring. Obviously a different configuration of Phoenix that we raced at in the spring. The legacy version then. Now it's the new version, the open dog leg. The front straightaway is there at the dog leg this time around. Do you like your chances more at this racetrack compared to the track that we ran in the spring? It finished 14th then, but 19 cautions to go along with that race.
Honestly, no. I like the other config quite a bit better. This one it feels like a little too fast for how small the track is, and then you have the dog leg stuff. And the interesting thing with this car is that if you go down there too aggressively, like, you will spin out. So that is something to think about. I know you have to cut it a little bit, but I'm not a huge fan of cutting that huge front, whatever it is now, the front stretch, I guess. But it's so interesting. It's not my favorite configuration, but I think I have a good grasp on it. I run pretty well here. It's still Phoenix overall, so we're just going to go in there and log laps and see how we end up at the end. Like last year, we did really well. I led a lot of laps, but came down a few mileage, so hopefully that doesn't happen this time.
Well, Kevin, we'll let you get set to go here. I think you guys might get a little bit of practice time before we're said and done. As drivers meeting going on right now. Best of luck, Kevin, and we'll talk to you at the end of this deal.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
That's Kevin King, one of your Championship 4. He was the first driver to lock himself into the Championship 4 with that win at Las Vegas. We'll turn now to Wyatt Tinsley. Wyatt Tinsley on the season, 1 win, and it was the season to get him. It was the win to get him here. That was at Homestead on the season. 5 top 5s, 12 top 10s, 46 playoff points, and 4 stage wins. He's with Sean Butler. It's Wyatt Tinsley.
Wyatt, man, so how are we feeling coming into this thing? Jacob just mentioned he had the Homestead win to get you here. You got your rig all set up, ready to go. So what's the strategy coming into this thing?
I'm just here. I'm glad I won Homestead, but it's just gotta all execute. Like again, like Justin said, I'm not racing for any points because I'm well down the table for the Owners Championship. So I just gotta be there, and all I have to do is beat all of the other three championship drivers. So a lot on the line tonight. I believe there's a trophy. I'm not sure about that, and then $200 on the line. So I'm a little bit more nervous than I was for pro, but yeah, just gotta execute and be there at the end. Qualified second, right behind Kevin. Kevin's gonna be fast. I know Cozy's gonna be fast, and so same with Hawk. And so it's just gonna be an all-out brawl, and hopefully we'll be there at the end. I'm not gonna try anything rush at staying like this race, but because it is not allowed. But we'll see how it goes.
Hey, you never know. They might have a mulligan for something, maybe. But I was about to ask about Phoenix. A lot of mixed opinions about this track, especially. A lot of people love it, a lot of people hate it. So where do you stand at this track? I know you race a lot of official for this thing, and what was your? Well, that's one of the surprising things for me. I see an official all the time, but how are you preparing for this track? Are you a fan of it? Are you So what are your thoughts on that?
I had a lot of fun experience testing for pro here. It's just one of those good tracks that I'm always overall good with. I know this is Kevin's favorite track, and I believe it's Kevin's best track. So it's going to be something to take away from that. But I do have an all-out time with this track, and I do enjoy this track a lot. On being a championship track, not so much. I think it definitely deserves a spot. Homestead definitely deserves it better. But yeah, I just haven't been doing much officials lately. I did NIS, I think, yesterday, and then I think I quit in between it because it just wasn't fun. But yeah, it really wasn't.
Pretty long.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. But I just been testing for pro lately, so that's why I haven't been doing officials. So that's got my mind focused on that and making the Coke series. But we'll have a run at it, and yeah, it'll be good.
Oh man, go get him. Definitely. I know you're going to be pretty focused here getting this thing. And I mean, testing for pro, you probably put twice as many laps as people running official. So I know how crazy those test sessions can be. But I'll let you get to it, man. So thanks again for taking the time to talk to us, and best of luck to you. And hopefully we'll be talking to you as the champion after this thing's all said and done.
Thank you. Let's have a good race.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Wyatt. Jacob, back to you.
That is Wyatt Tinsley, finished 41st here back in the spring. Got involved in some incidents there, and that kind of slid him down through the order and could not finish. There's the man of the hour, Michael Cozy Jr. Now, he's one of the two guys that had to win to get to this point, as you can see, very prepared. You were down in Australia for the Bathurst 1000, missed a race. You had the run at Homestead, finished 12th. You needed the win to get in to have a shot to run for a championship here at Phoenix. And you are pretty much a short track king. You go to Martinsville, you get the dub. You're coming and racing for a championship here in the FTF Barr Visual Cup Series. Take us through last week in getting to this point, going to victory lane last week.
Yeah, that was a good feeling. I just, sent it, got after it. I love Martinsville. I don't really love his next gen car. I think it kind of stinks, but either way, Martinsville, man, a lot of fun. Know the track like the back of my hand. I've run so many laps there, and somehow held on. And like I don't even know how I'm in the Final Four. I barely pointed my way in back when the playoffs even started. So I think just to be in the Final Four is a win for me, and anything else that comes out of that is a bonus. So we're gonna send it.
Obviously, you, among some others that are in this championship 4, are balancing this championship fight here, also balancing the fight over in the eNASCAR Contender iRacing Series, trying to make your way into Coke. Has this pulled away any from that preparation for Contender, or the other way around?
Well, I've been in Vegas most of the week, so nothing's been happening, unfortunately. So I'm going to have a rough couple of days. I'm underprepared for this, and I'm underprepared for that. So, like I said, it will be sent one way or another. I don't know if it's an educated send, but, how hard could it be? I know Phoenix is a parking lot track. Send it, cut the dog leg, I don't know. I got to beat 3 guys. I know Kevin's really good. All these guys are really good here. I like to think I'm all right here, and it's a long race, 200 laps. I had plenty of time to figure it out. So I don't know. I'm confident.
A different configuration than we ran here in the spring. Ran the old configuration then. Obviously, the new one now. You finished second here in the spring, best out of the championship 4.
I didn't know that. Nice.
Yeah. Does that help your confidence now that you know that you finished second here?
As a matter of fact, I had no idea. If you would have told me, man, all right, that does make me feel better. Because I don't feel good really coming into this. I've been running some practice laps, and I don't know if I have a very good handle on it. But like I said, I do like Phoenix. You know, it's like riding a bike. You know, pretty close to the same points. We'll figure it out, right?
Sounds good to us. So, Cozy, best of luck for you, and hopefully we'll talk to you here at the end of this deal as potentially the next champion of the Barr vs. FTF Cup Series. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
That's Michael Cozy Jr. He's got 7 top 5s on the season, 13 top 10s, 77 playoff points, and a stage win as well. Finally, Brandon Hawken. This guy missed 2 races in the middle of the playoffs to go race in a tournament. He did very well in it involving road courses. He came back. He needed to win it. Go figure, a road course at the Roval. He did just that. That got him into the round of 8. He's able to point his way into the round of 4. Brandon Hawken with Sean Butler.
Brandon, I feel I talk to you more than anybody, one of the commentators on this broadcast, and I just have to say it is a privilege every time. So Jacob just mentioned that, you know, you've had quite the year as far as sim racing goes. So how would it mean to you to cap it with earning the FTF championship here tonight?
Hey, Sean, always great to speak to you guys as well. Man, it's to get the FTF championship, that would just be the icing on the cake. I mean, this is one of the biggest oval leagues, and I've just been having a lot of fun this year. Just getting to learn the new next gen car, and it's been a real learning experience for all of us, I think. And it's just been a lot of fun. The car's gone through a lot of changes, and we've all had to adapt quite a lot. And the racing has just been really, really great. So I'd like to thank everybody who made this possible, because this is a really it's been a really great season, and no matter how it goes, it's been awesome, and it's not going to change that. So we're looking forward to it, looking forward to the race here. Hopefully we can go grab the championship. If not, that it's been an awesome season, but we're gonna go for it. We're gonna see what we can do here.
Absolutely, man. As Jacob alluded to, you're known as one of the better road course guys, in this league, probably the best, if we're being honest. But you got yourself 2 oval wins in this one, so you really showed your oval dominance here as well, including you had 10 top 5s and 19 top 10s on the season. So you're one of the most consistent drivers this whole season. So we now come to the finale. So how's the preparation been for this race to kind of get you to that edge, maybe over the Kevin Kings of the world, who everyone said, this is his best track. So, how has your preparation been to get you ready for this thing?
It's hard to say. Like, I know, once you get there, it's like I've never felt like I've been the fastest, as far as straight lap time on ovals, but I feel like I'm really good with my consistency for the most part. There's been a couple times like Pocono where I burned off the rear tires, but I think a lot of it's mental, and I guess you just gotta run your own race and hope. Just try not to let anything get to your head and not overdrive the car. That's been what I've been focusing on, is just running smooth, consistent laps as much as possible, and try not to burn off the rears, because especially here the rear tires they fall off really quickly. So it's got to be a matter of just saving those tires, I think. And if we get a long green flag run, it's gonna be crucial. So. Just thinking about just taking it easy on the car. Try not to get in any trouble. Of course, that you never want to end your championship hopes early by getting in a wreck or anything. So, we have the whole race to do it, 200 laps. We don't have to worry about stages unless we're going for owners points. I'm not thinking about that tonight at all. But just going for the drivers' championship. But we'll see how it goes. Just gotta keep it clean, smooth, and see how it all stacks up at the end.
Absolutely, man. Well, Brandon, I'll let you get back to getting locked in for this thing. Best of luck to you, of course, and hopefully you're going to be my pick tonight. I hate to bring that burden on to you, so no pressure, but hopefully we're talking to you at the end of this thing for the championship. So, Brandon, best of luck tonight, dude. Go get him.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
There you go.
Tell you, man, Brandon Hawken is such a pleasure to talk to, man. Always brings a smile on your face.
No doubt about it. Glad we got the chance to talk with our Championship 4, and always the potential that we could talk to them at the end of this deal. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the racetrack. That always seems to happen in these kinds of events where the guys fighting for the championship always wind up at the front of the field. So everything's done for the last time this season. Let's go through our starting grid, and we've got some championship drivers on the front row. Kevin King is your pole sitter. Wyatt Tinsley lines up on the outside. Two drivers fighting for a championship tonight. Alex Kolnix and Blake Reynolds in row number 2. Michael Cozy Jr., he's fighting for a championship. He starts 5th. His teammate Matt Danson on the outside in 6th. Row 4, Kevin McAdams and Jonathan Oates. Matthew Zwack and Michael Guest rounding out your top 10.
And the aforementioned Brandon Hawk in P11. Seth Knoll will be starting next to him in 12th. Row 7 sees Michael Frisch, Ethan Corder, 13th and 14th. Row number 8, Nate Stewart, who took that hellacious wreck in qualifying. He'll start 15th. Spencer Burns, 17th. And on to row 9, Jake Poulin, Jordan Kuntz will make up row 9. And in row 10, Jacob Frank DeAnthlis and David Cabrera will make up 19th and 20th.
Also like to congratulate Cozy. He just won the Random Fantasy Racing Influencer Cup champion with Steve Luvender. That is confirmed. Cozy goes back-to-back in that. Spencer Ray starts 21st. Blake Bryant 22nd. Cole Freilich and David L. Brown in row number 12. Devin Mistak, Cosmo Neshu in row 13. Tyler Landon, Caden Rush will be back in row 14. Matt Spalding, Brett Punkari rounding out the top 30.
31st, 32nd, Tyler Williams, Robert Dorman. Then we have Lane Tidwell, Lucas Plussel in 33rd, 34th, 35th, and 36th, Kyler Wynn, Corey Cook, Justin Malillo, and Scotty Smith. 37th and 38th, Nathan Rabideau and Chris Wetz. 39th and 40th. And bringing it on down the list, Art Reimer, Ryan Araki, Andy Margot, Briar LaPrade, Dylan Basin, and Kwame Scott will round out the field here at Phoenix.
So Basin and Scott will not race, along with Tyler Gary. Those three did not set a time in qualifying. Everybody else set a time. Everybody else is racing. The pace car is on pit road. And for the last time this season, we're set to get the green flag. Kevin King, Wyatt Tinsley on the front row. Let's fight for a championship. Green flag, we're underway from Phoenix. Kevin King will lead him around. He will lead lap number 1. Alex Kolnix is in second. Here comes Michael Cozy Jr. looking to take that position away. There was some beating and banging towards the back of the field. I believe Blake Bryant was a part of that, but they are all okay as they make their way off turn 2.
And we saw just how close it can get at this track. It's so
Trouble, back straightaway. One car hard into the inside wall. Cosmonaut issues involved. Tyler Landon was the car that got sideways, hit the outside wall, came back down the racetrack, and Cosmonaut issue had nowhere to go, hard into the inside wall. And the first caution comes out on lap number 2 for a big crash coming off of corner number 2.
And as you said, it was Tyler Lane in that 64 car just off of turn number 2 there. This setup on cold tires until the air pressures get up to proper temp, or proper inflation, I should say. It's very loose, especially off turn 2. We'll see on the replay. Watch the car just ahead of the 84 here. He's going to get a little loose back end, kicks out, has to save it, overcorrects it into the wall, and poor Cosman just has absolutely nowhere to go. Fortunately, they're the only 2 drivers involved in it, but definitely a big bummer for both of those guys to potentially end the season on that note.
Really hard crash. Remember, no faster pairs in this league, so the damage that they have, they will be stuck with the rest of the way. Remember, we had 19 cautions here in the spring, already lap number 2, and we're behind the pace car for the first time tonight. Some cars on pit road getting some service. David L. Brown, Art Reimer, Matt Spalding, Ryan Rocky. A couple more toward the back. Nathan Rabideau. And then Kazanout Issue and Tyler Landon on pit road. Kevin King is your race leader here under this first caution flag of the night.
Didn't take long at all with this. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, they got through the dog leg very well, because that's the spot where I was going to say before the wreck happened. This track widens up and then narrows extremely quickly, so you got to have to make your moves and know where you're going to be at the end, especially in the dog leg. But man, that's one of the parts of the racetrack you got to be aware of too. That exit off of turn 2, it flattens out so quick, and that upsets the rear ends of these cars very, very fast. And case in point, what we saw with Tyler Lane in there. So once these cars go around, they're very difficult to stay in a straight line, and we unfortunately saw there the result of that. So tough break on our first caution here, but Jacob, as history has shown, as you mentioned, this probably won't be the only one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We're getting set for the choose cone here. The choose, or the chone as we call it here in FTF, you're going to see the yellow and white line pop up right about there. That's the choose cone. That's the choose line, if you will. So they have to either be on the apron if you want the inside, or stay on the racetrack for the outside by the time you get to the beginning of that white line. If you hit the beginning of the white line, you're going to the back of the field, and it sounds like Nate Stewart found that one out the hard way, and he is going to drop to the back for hitting the line.
Got a bit of an update as well.
Woof. Michael
Cosman.
Guest about did it as well.
Cosman Yonashua, if you have any fans of him in the chat, he has packed it up for the evening, and his night is done. So not how Cosmo wanted his season to end for sure. So that's a tough break.
Well, and he started out on a heck of a pace, winning the opening race at Daytona to start the year, locking himself, the first guy to lock himself in to the playoffs. Unfortunately, since once you fall out of the top 16, or once you fall out of the playoffs, everybody goes back to regular points. So you could fall out of the top 16 if you were in it. Cosman coming into tonight was 17th in points. So an early exit is not what the driver of the 84 needed as far as points are concerned. But he'll look toward next year and try to go back-to-back and win the season opening race at Daytona when we get to that point in February. It's a long ways away, but it's also not too far away, just around the corner. And we can't wait for the cars to head to Daytona and come back to life. Kevin King and Alex Kolonix on the front row for the restart green flag. Cozy takes that second spot away there on the bottom, side by side behind. Wyatt Tinsley trying to make his way back up through the field, trying to get by Blake Reynolds in the 66. Then you've got Matt Danson trying to squeeze it in down on the bottom, almost 3 wide.
And Danson, you see the familiar colors on that number 30, another one of those Alta C Sports drivers. You can see he's up towards the front. If he can maybe help out Cozy in any way, shape, or form, he is going to do it. That team on iRacing, probably one of the most team-oriented groups on the service. They work together all the time. Is that almost trouble back there? Jake Poulin in the 00 gets very loose, similar to what we saw for the caution. And there's Conte Cabrera.
Can he save it? No, back up to the wall. Caution's out.
David Cabrera almost was able to reel that in.
Lucas Plessel spins as well further down the road. And the caution is out for the second time here tonight. I heard Nate Stewart say something about, hey, shouldn't there be a safety yellow or something? But I did not quite understand why we would have needed one.
Don't know about that.
Before that contact. Oh, how about, is that Ryan Naraki? Yeah, Ryan Naraki went for a slide on the front straightaway. Single car, no caution for that. There is the cause of the caution. Contact between Cabrera and Cole Freilich.
So there you see Cabrera going around in turn 3, we'll call that, a little up the road. You mentioned Lucas Plessel going around. That was an interesting avoidance there, but a little bit up the road here, we'll see if we can get another shot of this. Here's Naraki. This is down. It's a tricky part right here going into the dogleg. If you're going to cut it, the car just kind of bottoms out when you hit the bump, the transition going down to the apron there. So if guys aren't careful, you'll see exactly what happened to Naraki here. and the car will just kind of slide for a bit, and you'll just lose all traction, and it'll just go around. So definitely have to be cognizant of that as they're making their way through. And as far as what happened to Lucas Plusl as well in the 45, he was avoiding the David Cabrera spin, and similar to what he did, he kind of went to the apron and he just kind of lost it in turn 4. So this is definitely very tricky. Once these tire pressures build up and these guys will get used to how these cars run, and if we can get a full run going, you'll see a lot of these guys, being more cautious and everything. But the famous saying in NASCAR and racing is, cautions breed cautions, and if we've seen anything in FTF history, it's very prevalent in this league. So thinking once these guys get settled in, we'll see a lot more green flag racing, but definitely not the start some of these guys wanted.
10 laps will be complete here. When we get to the start-finish line behind the pace car, we will choose this next time by under our second caution of the day. Your stages, the end of lap 50, the end of lap 100, and then we take those final 100 laps to get to the end. 200 laps is what we have on deck here from Phoenix as we look to wrap up this season our Visual FTF Cup Series. A pretty fun season throughout, some highs and some lows. Charlotte, back in May, definite low. For those of you that may or may not remember that race, yeah, that was an event back in, that was the week before the actual 600. Somehow we only had 13 cautions, but it felt like we had 130 cautions in that race. That number is a lot less than I remember it being. But Michael Guest coming away with the win back at that race in May. But we've had a couple of bangers in this series as well coming down the stretch. Las Vegas was a pretty solid race. Indianapolis was a pretty solid race, all things considered. Just 5 cautions in that one. We've had some fun here on FTF.gg with the FTF Cup Series and on Bottom Split as well. I know Jordan always has a fun time working those broadcasts like he did last week at Martinsville.
Nothing will ever top the 34 caution spectacular last year on Bottom Split, so we will never see anything like that ever again. I hope we never see anything like that ever again, and I think Justin Malilla will agree with me that he never wants to see anything like that ever again. So if that Charlotte race felt like it took an eternity, you can imagine how long that Martinsville race last year took. That will be ingrained in my mind for a long time.
Yeah, I would have not wanted to be anywhere close to that race.
Yeah, I'm glad you weren't, Jake. You dodged a bullet there.
Well, and last week only 17 cautions. That's half the record. That's not too bad.
Close.
Kevin King and Alex Kolnick on the front row here for the restart. 13 laps will be complete when they cross the start-finish line. And they'll hit the Geico restart zone, getting back on the gas. Green flag.
Oh, trouble again in the back. Can't really tell who that is. Car to slam the inside wall. Now, that was Matt Spalding.
Yep.
Now they're 3 and 4 wide in turns 1 and 2 now.
Make it down the back stretch. Cozy's got some pressure for third. Blake Reynolds is on the outside.
Kevin McAdams yelling at people in the race chat as normal. Blake Reynolds newly retired from the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing series, so he's going to turn his attention to a lot more official stuff as well as leagues, so he's going to look to participate more in that. But Cozy, after driving up to second, and is now fallen back to fourth.
And now, Kevin wasn't yelling at anybody.
I know. I just like to give him a hard time about it.
Breyer had said something to him. They were close to making contact back there, and Kevin said, well, this thing is a brick, so sorry.
Well, whenever Kevin thinks he's not yelling at somebody, he actually is. So he's getting better, but he's got a long way to go.
And Breyer, with where he's at right now, he is up in the 14th position. He has gained 29 spots since the drop of the green flag. He started in the back in 43rd.
Breyer has not had very much luck when he's run FTF races. He always seems to get himself, well, not really get himself into trouble, but he always seems to just find himself involved in a wreck in some way, which is kind of a bummer for Breyer. He's such a good driver. But I'm looking through, I don't think he had any wins this year, which is very odd. So hopefully he'll come back full-time next year. I know he's got the Coke Series that that he runs a lot, so kind of put a lot of time into that. But gotta say, that car, that number 88 ledfordbilliardsupply.com Chevrolet, is one of the best, if not the best looking cars in any form. Ryan Williams, a head lead designer for Junior Motorsports. I think he knows what he's doing when he's painting cars.
No doubt about it. And you talk about Brian not having any luck in this series. He hasn't had much luck, period. Even in the Coke Series, you know, you think he's going to have a good run, and he gets caught up in something early on. Not much that he can do, and that's just kind of been the year of 2022 for Brian LaPrade as he tries to right the ship here and get focused toward 2023. Right now, Breyer back in the 14th position. Battle up closer toward the front. Here comes Wyatt Tinsley underneath Matt Danson. This is for 5th.
And Tinsley, again, one of our championship 4, moves his way into the top 5. So Wyatt definitely said he logged a bunch of laps here practicing for pro, so he knows his way around. And up front, we got a battle for the lead potentially. Alex Kolonix to the inside of Kevin King.
Kolonix on the inside looking for the lead. Has not gone to victory lane this season, and now that's going to open up the door. Here comes Blake Reynolds on the inside for 2nd, and Kolonix is going to have to give up the position.
And if you guys remember from last season, Blake Reynolds was one of the championship 4 drivers, but as Kevin King alluded to, that race came down to fuel mileage, and Blake and Kevin just didn't have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race, and Tyler Gary did, and that was the difference. So shame that Blake isn't driving in the championship 4 this season. Definitely deserves it. Hopefully he'll be able to get himself back into this position next year for sure. So Blake, though, knows his way around Phoenix. He's putting all sorts of pressure on Kevin King.
Almost some trouble in the back of the field. Devin Mistack locked up the tires coming off turn number 2. Got a little sideways. Holds on to that 17 Ford Mustang, and he will keep that thing pointed in the right direction for the time being. As for the lead, here comes Blake Reynolds once again in turn 1.
And Reynolds to the inside, not going to have the drive off that we saw. We had a battle a little bit further back, as you were seeing, but pretty much a 4-car breakaway at the front of the field. And you see the different braking points that these guys are taking into turn number 3 as Cozy looks to the inside of Kolonix. This is the battle for 3rd, but a lot of drivers able to drive it in a little deeper into the corner, maybe some a little more reserved, and hopefully that won't lead to any messes or anything. But Cozy moving himself back into the podium positions.
Well, how about this? These guys have not strung out as much as the Cup Series race earlier today. These guys have stuck nose to tail. It seems like that clean air isn't quite as much of
trouble. Spencer Burns, the 06 on the front straightaway, comes to a stop. No caution. Only car in the apron, so we'll stay green here.
Almost got Tyler Lannon. He was getting back up to speed. Lannon was just trying to run the race line. Contact between Burns and Caden Rush looked like to set that whole thing off.
Definitely was.
Stay under green.
Caden was all over the rear bumper of Burns and just got him loose and just didn't really lift, and Burns had nowhere to go but around. So fortunately for Spencer, he's able to keep that thing going, but definitely a big wag of the finger to Caden Rush. Don't want to be doing that this early in the race.
Back up here at the front, 4-car breakaway at the front. As I was mentioning, clean air not as big of a factor as it was in the Cup Series race earlier today. As Cole Frelick's in the wall, he's got issues up against that outside wall coming off turn number 4.
I'm going to take a look and see what happened here. Frelick, it looked like just absolutely missed turn 3. And he just didn't really get the wall, just, I guess, got in the marbles and got really close to it, but he was able to avoid it. But definitely a scary moment there for Cole. As a little further up the road, Jake Poulin has a little bit of a pressure from Scotty Smith in the 23. And Smith will go by him, looks like, for the 23rd position. But a lot of side-by-side back here, though. You'll see a driver coming way up from the apron down here. This is around like the 20th position. So definitely no shortage of racing here. You just got to know where to find it. And just up the road from these guys, we mentioned Michael P. Frisch, one of last year's Final Four, looking to make his way around Frank DeAngelis in the 069. That's going to be the battle for 18th just up the road.
Yeah, that car from DeAngelis, something.
It's been like that for the last couple of weeks, and it's I don't know. Thanks, Frank, for bringing that car out every week. We appreciate it. What is that show? It's the regular show car? It's the regular show car, yep. Yep.
That's the way it looks, yeah.
Just appreciate Frank being here, man. When definitely like a better car out of Frank, but, you know, we can't always have what we want.
How about the battle for 6th? Here comes Hawken around the outside, trying to get by Matt Danson here.
Hawkins started 11th as we talked during the pre-race. From the pre-race show, definitely one of the favorites here, known as the road guy, as we mentioned in this league. But Jacob, as we mentioned, has, I believe, like he's top 3 in top 10s in the league. He is just so consistent in this league, has been all season for a number of years now, dating back to the time this league was on NASCAR 2003. So Brandon Hawken, definitely a big player in this league for a long time, and looking to finally catch that championship here for FTF. Definitely a deserving driver. We'll see if he can get to the promised land here tonight, but he set himself up very nicely early on.
That'd be a very popular win.
For sure.
For him to get the championship. In fact, I think all 4 would be a pretty popular win. Here comes Wyatt Tinsley underneath Kolonix for 4th, and he's got the spot and plenty more. We're 3 and 4, so move that 120 into 4th. And your championship 4 as they run, they're the yellow names up on the ticker. 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 6th.
Tinsley, the fastest driver in the top 10 that last time by, so he definitely knows the way around this racetrack. Doing a great job keeping that Toyota clean, and definitely not done gaining spots. He has a beeline for these leaders right now, but they all stay behind Kevin King. As everyone said, he is the favorite coming into this thing, as Blake Reynolds got really loose off of 4, nearly hit the wall.
And this is the longest green flag run we've had so far. So these tires now, especially since most people have not pitted yet in this race, they're really starting to get on some ice now, because they have not had the ability to really try out any sort of long green flag runs.
Well, we're getting one now, it looks like. I mean, the battling has been pretty crazy back here in the pack. So we're going to see if they allow the field to stay green here, as we got one battle side by side. They got a group back here with Robert Dorman, as we just saw with these guys. Lane Tidwell in that 40 iconic STP looking paint scheme there. The Jim Peacock Dodge going into turn 3 there. We see Caden Rush in that 27, that neon yellow / green car. Used to John Gorlinski being in that car with that color scheme, but definitely good seeing Caden running here tonight. As there you see another battle here. That's Kyler Wynn and Jordan Kuntz going at it. This is for 16th.
Thinking about 3 wide is Frisch. He'll think better of it for now.
Oh,
and Wynn goes up the hill and puts Kuntz up. Now they are 3 wide. And Frisch will go by both of them.
Not yet. Frisch got a little loose off of turn 2 there. Kuntz almost got the wall. Frisch is going to go by. Kyler's going to let him go. But Kyler looked like he drove it into the corner very deep into turn number 1, and Kuntz drove it in just as deep, and Wynn had nowhere to go but washed up into Jordan. So thankfully, no damage was done, but Jake Poulin having some more issues, it looks like.
We're able to keep it going for the time being. We're 15 laps away from the end of stage number 1 here at Phoenix. Really, Kevin King right now in no danger of catching any lap traffic. Blake Reynolds in 2nd, Michael Cozy Jr. 3rd, Wyatt Tinsley sits 4th, Alex Kolonix 5th, Brandon Hawken closing in, he's in P6.
And Michael Guest in a little bit of trouble there on the 74 it is. Not sure what was going on there, but he was very slow going through the dog leg. Usually that 74 is just a plain black scheme I've been used to seeing, but now he's got a little bit of green on it, a little bit of white to possibly reflect similarly to what his Coke scheme looked like with the big green egg sponsorships. Not on this car, of course, but glad to see he finally got a little bit of a paint scheme on that car now.
The way it looks.
Oh
man!
Right
Again,
behind.
That's fresh.
That's Ethan Corder.
Ethan Corder back there, yeah.
It looked like Ethan just got a little loose off of turn 2 there, so he's able to keep it going. Frisch and Kyler win. If you've those prominent Moon Car viewers, you know the history between these guys, but definitely not incidents of their doing. But speaking of these two guys, Michael Frisch is his 87 League Legends of the Future will be live here on FTF coming up in just a few days' time, Thursday. We'll be live probably around, I don't know, maybe like 8:30-ish, depending on what times everything shakes out. But mark your calendars on November 10th for the start of that league. Should be a great time. 87's at Talladega to kick that league off.
That schedule is solid. You got Talladega and Michigan. Michigan in the 87s is fun. I've seen a couple leagues run that before. That's a good time. Then an off week for Thanksgiving here in the United States. Then December jam-packed. North Wilkesboro, Atlanta, Bristol. Then 2 weeks off for the holidays. For the new year, we come back with a bang. Rockingham, yes.
Yeah.
Darlington, bumpy Daytona. That's a 500-mile race. That's going to be a long night, January 19th. Then Richmond and New Charlotte to end the season at the beginning of February, just in time for the start of the NASCAR season, the start for the Barr Visual FTF Cup Series season. That's going to be a lot of fun. Caution, 8 laps away from the end of the stage.
Seeing I'm not seeing where this is. I gotta do some digging back here. It looked like something happened off of turn 2. Is that Andy Hunter? It was Andy Hunter and Tyler Williams. Tyler Williams in the 34 car. We'll take a look here off turn 4. So, yeah, or that's Art Reimer, I should say, in the 49. My apologies, in that green car. But I don't know, Jacob. Looks like we just had another similar instance to what happened to Cole Freilich and Cosman and all them off of turn 2. Just got a little loose, and Tyler was just a victim.
I'm not so sure about that. 34 comes up. He doesn't quite get loose. Art got loose up on the high side just a little bit. There's a bit of net code between those two cars, and that's what sends the Tyler Williams machine around and up into the outside wall. So pit road is a very, very, very busy place. Only a couple of drivers stay out. Ryan Nowrocki is one of them.
Not sure why Ryan Nowrocki would stay out at this point. He usually does it to just get points or something, but we're in the championship race, so I don't know.
Right, what does it matter?
Ryan Nowrocki and Jake Poulin stay out, so the two speeding teammates stay out. Robert Dorman, did he drive through the pits?
He missed his box. Yeah, okay. So interesting. Kevin King wins the race off pit road. Then it's Blake Reynolds, Wyatt Tinsley. Michael Cozy Jr. loses 2 spots on pit road, falls behind Tinsley and Kolonix. Art Reimer has parked the car. He is done for the night, and now Ryan Nowrocki is on pit road, so he won't even lead a lap.
Interesting call early on in this race. David Brown in the 183 takes 2 tires in his pit stop. He's coming back in.
Yeah.
So
wonder if that was a mistake.
I don't know. I mean, David's taken, he's put some bold strategies up there before, so maybe he just wanted to, I don't know, get himself some track position, top off. I don't know, but I mean, might as well take 4 if you're going to do that.
Now,
so I don't know.
Poulin stayed out. He does this. He will lead the lap. He'll probably pit this time by beef between. Okay.
Yeah, Art
Reimer's gone, and that was him after the caution. The suspension was broken with his hit.
I'm not sure if
The
that was a
outside wall.
toe link or an actual hardware issue. That was odd. The car usually just doesn't flat out not turn like that. So that's
So
strange.
Pullen's pitting. We're also choosing right here. So Jake led his lap. He's coming to pit road. Kevin King chooses the bottom. Blake Reynolds chooses the outside line. And we are going to get a restart with 4 to go.
4 to go.
I had to do some math there. That or I sprung a leak. We'll have 4 to go in stage number 1.
Jake is still trying to recover from Game 6 in Houston, so it's understandable. I was that way in 2015 too. My brain just didn't want to work for the next couple days after that, so I understand.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think it helps when the Eagles are still undefeated for now. Yeah.
It's okay.
These things happen.
Philly sports are doing okay.
Hey,
The Sixers might need some help, but
Philly was the first city ever to lose 2 championships on the same day.
congrats.
The MLS Cup, they blew that in penalty kicks to Los Angeles, and then they lost the World Series that night.
That's rough.
Yep.
I'm here if you need anything, Jake. Just don't worry.
Like I said, win or loss, Philadelphia was going to get burned to the ground. So Kevin King and Blake Reynolds set to go on the restart. We're in the buffer zone. 4 laps to settle stage number 1. Remember, there's no caution at the end of the stage unless they wreck. Green flag, a great launch for Kevin King.
It's like everyone gets through the leg cleanly, but into turn 1, it's a crazy story happening through there. People all over the place. As King looks to defend from Blake Reynolds, here comes Reynolds, and King lets him go. So what is the development here?
Blake Reynolds takes the lead. Here comes Cozy round the outside, looking for second on Kevin King. He's right on the quarter panel. King's going to barely get the spot going to 1. Here comes Cozy back on the bottom.
Is this a long play for Kevin King? That's baffling to me why you would let Blake Reynolds go here. Now he's going to be, I don't want to say swallowed up by Cozy and Tinsley, or Cozy and Kolonix, I should say here, but he's definitely got a lot more pressure behind now. Reynolds looking to drive away to get this stage 1 win.
2 to go in stage number 2 as they cross the start-finish line. Blake Reynolds is pulling away.
And they're still side by side. Cozy drives it in deep going into turn number 1, and that high line is the preferred line when you're trying to hold somebody off, and Kevin King just pinches Cozy down to not allow him to get that run off. But Cozy going to make another run at it into 3.
He sent it down in there. He gets right on the quarter panel. Oh, he all but wrecks him. I can't believe he stayed off that quarter panel of the 29. Last lap, stage 1.
My goodness. I mean, it's early on in the race, boys. You don't need to settle this thing already. So if there's one way to beat Kevin King at Phoenix, I guess that's wreck him early.
Trouble.
But that's not how Cozy wants to do it.
Turn 1 in the wall. Spencer
Ray.
Ray. Still green. It's single car. And out of 3 and 4, Blake Reynolds gets to the line. He wins stage 1. Kevin King holds on to 2nd. Cozy's 3rd. Kolonix is 4th. Hawken in 5th. Wyatt Tinsley 6th.
All right. Well, that's our heart-stopping moment for the early part of this race, you would think. So that was. Yep. That was interesting, for sure. So they've settled it out. The first battle, we got to go a little further back. Kyler Wynn and Jonathan Oates. That's going to be for 12th back here. Cade Rush also there in that 27 car. But we were talking about in turns 1 and 2 especially, it is so tough to get a pass done on that bottom lane. So you're going to want to try to get to someone's outside if you're going to want to make the pass. And right there, as you saw at the front of the field, so tough for Cozy to get that pass done on Kevin King. But single file now, and I'm looking back up to the front of the field, and Blake Reynolds has put almost a second on the field here as we make our way into turn 1.
Wonder if everybody else is saving their tires for a potentially longer green flag run that we could see here from Phoenix. Stage 1 is in the books here at Phoenix. Blake Reynolds, your leader. Kevin King currently out in front in the championship fight. We're back after this here on FTF.GG. Back here from Phoenix for the Kicking the Tires Championship finale here from the Phoenix Raceway for the Barr Visual FTF Cup Series. Jacob Hitch, Sean Butler here with you. Blake Reynolds is your leader. Kevin King currently the first driver in the championship fight, but Michael Cozy Jr. has stayed glued to the back bumper since we went to break.
And we mentioned that outside lane being preferred in turns 1 and 2. Cozy's been trying to work it, trying to get to the outside of King, but Kevin, as he's so known to do in iRacing, is a master of saving his tires in whatever he runs. So I think that's what Kevin's doing right now, just trying to make the set he's got last as long as he possibly could. He wants to use as less sets of tires in this thing as possible, just to have some in the tank, if you will, for the end of this race. But he's making it tough right now on Cozy. Cozy really wants to get around him and chase down Blake Reynolds, but this is essentially the fight for the championship lead right here between this 29 and 99, and you know Cozy wants to be out front at all times.
No doubt about it. If he can be out in front, he wants to be the man that is out in front. Remember, stage number 2 ends at the end of lap 100, so we still have 40 laps till we get to that point. Some good battling going on just around the top 10. Kyler Wynn, Caden Rush in a nice little battle back there.
Carla Pratt and Kevin McAdams side by side right here too. McAdams in that iconic number 26 for FTF, and there you see Breyer trying to make his way on the outside. Ledford Billiard Supply Chevrolet dives to the inside down the dog leg, looking underneath Caden Rush. And look at the time he makes up. He's able to get to the inside of Rush and trying to get by, but Rush has that preferred line in the middle, so he's probably going to be able to hold him off for now.
Caden Rush has had a couple of close calls back there. Him and Kyler Wynn, him and McAdams, and now him and LaPrade all over each other back here. Again, just outside the top 10 where these guys are racing right now. So a long way to go.
Speaking of cutting the dog leg, just ahead of these guys, you saw that blue and black car, Seth Nolan, the 63. We got to pay attention to him whenever he goes through the dog leg. He cuts it all the way, goes as close to that inside wall as he possibly can. and gets a good exit out of it. We'll see if he does it here, but I don't know if that's helping him or hurting him, because right now he's kind of struggling right now in front of these guys. You got Matt Danson, Kyler Wynn behind, and as soon as I say that, he does it normally, so thank you very much, Seth, for listening. But he's maybe trying something new, because he's been losing a little bit of time to Matthews Whack ahead of him.
We get around the lap car. These guys are. That's David Cabrera going high, getting up out of the way.
Way out of the way.
Yeah. Of course, the tough part there is the outside wall coming off the corner is the racing line, but he continues to stay out of harm's way and let the faster cars go.
And there you saw Seth take full advantage of that wide dog leg down there as he cuts it way towards the inside. Maybe tried that a little bit of the outside lane at that point, but I guess, I don't know, he's still trying to figure it out as well as we are as for which section is faster, but that line behind him is slowly getting bigger as we look back here. Michael Guest and company right here trying to make up some spots behind Kevin McAdams and Briar LaPrade. So Guest, known for starting in the back just in pretty much every race he does. I guess he just finds it boring to just kind of stick around and run, you know, qualifying laps. Started 10th in this one, though. He kind of dropped back a little bit to 15th, but he's trying to slowly make his way back through the field again.
Sounds like the Michael P. Frisch strategy, starting at the back everywhere we go. Clawing his way up through the field.
Frisch started 13th. He's currently up to 20th now, just past Jordan Kuntz going into turn number 1, coming up to Spencer Burns. So it definitely seems some comers and goers in this thing for sure.
Biggest mover so far, Briar LaPrade. He's up 30 spots from the drop of the green flag. Started 43rd. He's up in the 13th position, and we're not even halfway. So he has been flying through the field.
Will this be the day that he finally gets that FTF win? Is up towards the front, Michael Cozy Jr. and Alex Kolonix. This is a close battle here for third. Kolonix, you saw, was on the inside of Cozy, but maybe Cozy just kind of lit those tires up too much trying to get by Kevin King, as King is starting to pull away, and now Cozy has a mirror full of that 22, and here goes Kolonix again to the inside.
Cozy's fallen off from that back bumper of the 29 to Kevin King, and that's going to open up the door for the rest of these playoff drivers plus Kolonix. Try and get by that 99. Hawken is right there, as well as Wyatt Tinsley. The other two playoff drivers fighting for the championship, but Cozy hanging tough on the outside for now.
Now we see the Garrett Smithley lean. Now we see the Alex Kolonix lean there as he's kind of leans his way into turn number 1 there. Kolonix keeps it on the bottom, now looks for the rear of that car. He's only got 3 championship 4 contenders right there. No biggie, as he's got the pass done and relaxes a little bit, as you saw, as he gets off the corner. So Kolonix gets the move done on Cozy. Now he can set his sights to Kevin King just up the road in second, but now Cozy has to deal with fellow championship competitor, the other 99, Brandon Hawken, as they make their way down the dogleg.
Like Cozy, maybe not quite as strong on those longer green flag runs, or just abuse the tires a little bit, trying to stick with that 29 throughout the first 30 or so laps of this green flag run, as we've reached about 30 laps here in this stint since the caution right at the toward the end of stage number 1.
We've seen this before, you know, especially in aero-sensitive cars like the next gen. So I think Cozy might have just tried to run really hard to get by Kevin King and then use the clean air to keep his tires on it. And that's one of those instances where it just didn't work. So Cozy has to kind of just bite the bullet with this set of tires, just kind of keep them alive as long as he can and get a new set of tires on and then use them up again and see if he can make up some spots. But Cozy right now, just damage control right now, trying to keep the other 2 championship title contenders behind him.
9 sets of tires in total for these guys, 8 in the pit lane. They've already used 1 set, so just 7 tire sets remaining, but they should have plenty of time to use them here, depending on how the cautions fall, if we get any more cautions. We had a couple early, but other than those 3 caution flags, we have been green since right at the end of stage number 1, and we had a nice little run going in the middle of stage number 1 as well.
And there you see Brandon Hawkin getting to the outside of Cozy. This is for 4th. Wyatt Tinsley right there behind. He might try to follow Hawkin through. Cozy very loose off of turn number 2 there. So like I was saying, Cozy just has to try to keep the tires on as much as he possibly can with this car. It's going to be tough, but he's got to cool them back down and just maybe try to see if he can make another run at these guys. But right now, that 99 car is looking for some grip as much as he can in the early part of the run here.
Blake Reynolds continues to lead the way here from Phoenix. He is your race leader. Not fighting for a championship. Did not make it to the round of 4. Kevin King did. He's currently your championship leader, running in 2nd. Alex Kolinix is in 3rd. Brandon Hawkins sits in 4th. Wyatt Tinsley in 5th. 6th is Cozy. Side-by-side battle just outside the top 10. Caden Rush, Matt Danson.
See Michael Guest in there as well. So Caden Rush has been pretty much in every other one of our shots, I should say, as he chops the nose of Michael Guest going into turn number 3 there. And Briar LaPrade looks like he's on pit road making, I don't know if this is an unscheduled stop or maybe not, but LaPrade only one on pit road right now.
LaPrade will make the call for an early pit stop, and this could open up the window for some others to follow suit. Fuel load 60% in these race cars, so they're not going to be able to go quite as long as we saw the Cup Series cars go earlier today, which should mean that we're going to be closing in on that window for green flag stop.
And this track is pretty tricky to get on a pit road. You got that long sweeping apron through turns 1 and 2. Then you got to go all the way down pit road, which then wraps around turns 3 and 4. So one of the more unique entrances on the NASCAR schedule. And got one dropping back a little bit. It looks like Matthew Zwack in that 7 car just lost the 8th spot to Kevin McAdams. So he's kind of dropping back a little bit as well. It's around the top 5. And as you mentioned, Jacob, maybe these tires starting to go a little bit too much age on them, as Kevin McAdams able to make the move, and he's approaching Seth Knoll as we see as well. So we're starting to see the guys that have saved their tires better than most start to kind of march their way up to the front of the field. And Kevin McAdams certainly knows how to save his tires as well, and he's looking to make that next spot available to him as he's got Seth Knoll to his outside now.
Closing in on just 20 laps to go here in stage number 2 from Phoenix. This is where the battle's at right now, right with these guys. You've got Kevin going at it with Seth Knoll. Behind him, Zwack. You got the 5 of Cole Freilich, who was a lap down. And then you got Kyler Wynn there as well in that 82. Right behind them, Michael Guest. And whoa, Zwack almost dropped it.
There it is.
In the dogleg, got that apron again.
It'll sneak up on you, if you find yourself getting in a groove a little bit, it'll definitely kind of wake you up, so to speak, if you hit that apron just wrong, I should say.
Briar LaPrade going home. He has parked it. That's why he came onto pit road. And Kevin McAdams, not too happy there with the lap car of Cole Freilich. It's
Kevin McAdams not happy in a race? That never happens.
Oh, man. Oh, who was that? Ethan Corder about dropped it coming off turn number 2. Straightens it out.
Tell you what, there have been numerous close calls here throughout this whole middle of the field. Matthew Zwack and Caden Rush are going at it now. Michael Frisch, you see right here, and Ethan Corder, the aforementioned Ethan Corder, with a little bit of an issue there. Frisch is able to get to the outside. A lot of scary moments happening at this part of the race. I'm not feeling all that good about what we're seeing right now. As there you see Spencer Burns, Jordan Kuntz battling. This is for 19th. Burns in that 06, Kuntz in the 27.
Cole Frelick still getting people mad for racing lead lap cars as the lap down, and he says, look, I backed out of it. Plead his case.
Give you one guess who he was talking to.
Well, it was actually Justin Malillo, the race admin.
Yep.
Kevin was involved in that conversation. How about the battle for third? Wyatt Tinsley has caught Alex Kolonix for that third spot.
Hey man, Wyatt is looking very strong early on in this race, so we're almost halfway, but he's been very consistent, been good on the long runs here. He's running just about on par times with our leader, but don't look now. If we look at these lap times, Tinsley and Kolonix here, two of the fastest guys, and actually Tinsley was the fastest driver out of the top 5, so definitely attaboy to Alex Kolonix for keeping the tires underneath that number 22, and hopefully they can get up to Kevin King, but the gap might be really falling away from them. As if we speaking of gap, if you look at the gap up front, Kevin King has reeled in Blake Reynolds. So I think what I was talking about earlier with King saving the tires, it's a case in point right here.
We know how good at saving the tires Kevin King is. He goes to the outside here in turn number 1. He's trying to get alongside that 66. Not quite going to get to the corner panel. Blake shuts the door, but here he comes down to the bottom for the lead.
I think Blake, is he going to race him for it? He probably will. So two former Coke Series drivers here. Kevin King looking to make his way back into the series. Blake newly retired from the Coke Series, but these guys definitely put on a show whenever they race each other, and got to think these are two of the best that this league has to offer. And King gets to the inside. Blake is going to realize he's faster and let him go. So Kevin King back to the front. As difficulties for Cozy now, as those tires are just about done, I think.
And he has fallen back immensely. He has lost 5 spots. He's now in the 11th position. And for Cozy, it was a big moment on the front straightaway again in the dogleg. He about wrecked it, had to lock him up to keep it going straight. That's why he lost so many spots.
Take another look here as we'll see Cozy. What we were talking about, this is the same lap, but a little bit further into turns 1 and 2. Now, it's weird because the transition that he had, I think it'll be right here. There you see, it wasn't as low as other people have gone, but that is a fantastic save by Cozy. I know it doesn't look like much if you're watching here, but in that car, these are so tough. We already saw a couple of overcorrections with similar slides like that, and Cozy's able to manufacture a save there and keep that thing going straight. So big attaboy to Cozy. As a little bit up the road here, Kevin McAdams is starting to march his way through the field. Finally gets by Seth Knoll for 6th.
Continues to move right on up. Got a little bit of a way to go to get to Brandon Hawken in that 5th position. But a great run so far for Kevin McAdams. There you see Kevin King trying to pick up his 4th win on the season and give himself a championship in the Barr Visual FTF Cup Series.
Go ahead and acknowledge this there, but big thanks to Breyer for the raid. Appreciate you guys coming by and sticking around for a little bit, tuning into the final race of the 2022 Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series season. Hope you guys stick around to see who wins this thing.
Breyer, what happened? Because we just saw you pit and then go home. We didn't we didn't see what happened. Just not having fun? What's the deal?
I don't know. Hope everything's good though, Breyer. No, it's one of those things, one of these races. He's got food here and he's ready to munch. That's what he says. So thanks, Breyer, for letting us know that.
When you're not running for a championship, I guess. Why not?
Hey, Keenan Cousin's in the chat as well. Thank you very much for joining us, Keenan. Glad you're here. If you guys are sitting
for Hawk.
Guys are sitting there in the chat. Hello. Make your voices heard. As another big time streamer, Michael P. Frisch, makes his way around Matthews Whack. Those two are Call of Duty teammates nowadays, so they spend plenty of time yelling at each other in Search and Destroy in Modern Warfare 2, and guarantee you Frisch gave him a hard time as he passed him there. For those of you wanting an Andy Margot update, he is in 30th right now. He's sitting there in the number 48 U.S. Army Ford Mustang. There's Andy. just chilling right now, as he always does. Just sitting there right behind. Just got lapped by Blake Reynolds there, but he's just vibing as he always does. Andy Margot, if you're new to the broadcast, fan favorite. I believe he is 85 years old, 84, 85, but Andy has been driving FTF for a long time, and big fans of Andy Margot. He's making his way onto pit road right now, so maybe some early strategy for Andy coming in. Yes, you heard me correctly. He is Andy is in his 80s, and he's a veteran, one of the best personalities. If you ever get a chance to talk to him, if you're an FTF, hell of a guy. Fan favorite Andy Margot.
How about this? We're going to have a battle for 5th. Kevin has caught Brendan Hawken. Yeah.
Wow. I want to give Kevin a hard time saying, well, he made the setup, so he better be good. But Kevin is he's known for keeping the tires underneath his cars, and Hawken realizes he's faster, lets him go. So Kevin doing a great job early on in this race. As you saw, Michael Guest making his way down pit road. So I don't know, maybe he might be going in, leaving this race or anything, maybe making a pit stop as well. But a couple of big names on the pit road early, and Breyer and Michael Guest.
And we'll see what Guest does. Sounds like a couple more might be pitting. That 6 car going by. That's a lap car in Spencer Ray.
I think the window's open.
Caden Rush might be texting him while driving or something. He just hit the back straightaway wall. So I don't know what I just saw him turn right on the straightaway.
More drivers in. You see Lucas Plussel there. I believe that is Spencer Burns, I think, as we got more coming in right behind.
All guys at the back of the field.
The pit window is open right now. Lane Tidwell on pit road in the Richard Petty-looking Dodge Charger, and there's our
Hawkins
first of the championship 4. Brandon Hawken makes his way onto pit road.
That's going to open up the window, I would think, for everybody else. Wyatt Tinsley says he's coming in this time.
Jonathan Oates.
Here comes Wyatt. Got to be careful not to speed.
I'd like to point out
really locked him up.
I'd like to point out I was corrected. Andy is 82 years old, and then thanks to Justin for saying after 2 years younger than Sean, so I very much appreciate that. As
5 years than Chris Davis. Black flag, Matthew Zwack speeding on pit road.
Got to be too fast entering. He is.
Oh yeah, he was flying.
Yeah, he locked. He locked up big time at the commitment cone. I believe pit road speed is 50, 55. He was 64 miles per hour.
Yeah. Pit speed is 45 miles.
45.
An hour.
So yeah. Too fast section 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for Matthew Zwack. So hate to see that.
Kevin's on pit road. Michael P. Frisch, Michael Cozy Jr. amongst those that are currently making their first green flag pit stop.
Good to
we are at the stage, by the way. So Blake Reynolds wins the stage. He is now pitting. Nate Stewart, I think, is going to finish second in this stage. Then David Brown, Brett Punkari, Ryan Araki. This fell right at the stage break. The stage was the halfway mark. So Reynolds wins stage 2, and he's on pit road now to get service.
Nate Stewart, as you mentioned, will be your leader. There you see him in that 4 car getting passed by Kyler Wynn, unlapping himself. So we should see Nate coming onto pit road maybe this time, or maybe he'll try to stretch it. Who knows? Nope, he's going to come down this time and relinquish the lead to Brett Punkari in the 35, as Brett is going to make his way down pit road as well. So all this will cycle Kevin King back out to the lead. So Kevin is going to have a healthy margin as well. He's going to have about 3.5 seconds behind him to Wyatt Tinsley. So great pit cycle for Kevin King.
Comes around, coming into turn number 3 right now. And he will retake the lead as he passes Nate Stewart. Wyatt Tinsley moves up into position number 2. Third is Michael Guest now. Alex Kolinick's 4th. Chris Wetz is currently in 5th. Now he's on some older tires, and he's getting passed left, right, and center by these guys that just came onto pit road.
Justin Malillo in our little private broadcast chat says, I got Nate Stewart winning the stage, and never mind, I'm dumb. So thank you, Justin, for weighing in on that.
Plus, we're ending the stage at lap 101. I'm not sure how Nate Stewart won that stage.
It's okay, Justin. It's the final race. You get to let loose after this one. The season's over.
Yep.
Till February, though.
Yeah.
Guys want to race in that? Get your sign-ups in.
He gets to really go back to work tomorrow. Monday Night Racing comes back, and he'll be on the track for that.
He will. He's going to win the championship in M&R. I'm calling it right now.
Gosh, I hope so.
Jacob Pitts will be on that broadcast as well. Jacob will have a great time. You got a jam-packed week, Jacob. We were talking about that before we went on the air tonight. You are a busy man this week.
Yeah, just when I thought that maybe I was going to take it easy.
Nope.
We're right back into it, and 8 broadcasts between now and Saturday. Yeah, it's going to be some, and that's with a day off in there.
Yep, I was about to say you're jam-packed with a schedule. A lot of work is better than no work, though.
Well, as long as I'm getting paid,
there you go.
I won't complain too much.
Too much. You will still complain.
I said what I said. It depends. Depends on the situation.
Back
Blake
to our
Reynolds.
regularly scheduled programming here.
Hawken getting past there by Blake Reynolds. That's for 5th. Chris Wetz is still on the lead lap in that 71. So that was also for a spot. As Kyler Wynn closing in right behind him in that 82 car. Robert Dorman is not on the lead lap. Neither is Lane Tidwell.
I think this will give Kyler Wynn the biggest move of the race so far. Now that Breyer left, I mean, I guess Kyler will leave that. He started 35th. He's up to 8th. Chris Wetz has it right now, being in 7th after starting 40th. But Kyler Wynn definitely had himself a march up through the field. So put that number 82 factory setups machine into the 7th spot. Big factory setups fan, by the way.
There you have it.
Huge factory setups fan.
Let's see here. So Tinsley's in 2nd. Kevin King's your leader. Michael Guest 3rd. Alex Kolinick's 4th. Blake Reynolds is in 5th. Hawken is 6th. Then Wynn, Wetz, McAdams, Michael P. Frisch, your top 10. Cozy back at 11th. That's your championship 4 there, with Cozy being the furthest one back.
Cozy really needs a caution here to kind of get himself regrouped. He had a very rough last green flag run. We saw him try to pass Kevin King, and that just ate his tires up to get that number 99 sliding back, similar to what we saw, I want to say, with Steven Wilson in the NASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series finale. Wilson had his own little tire issue by taking 2 tires, and we saw just how much it slid him back to the field. So luckily for Cozy, he's got some time to try and recover from this, but he's currently sitting just under 10 seconds behind leader Kevin King, so definitely a caution would need to come out to get that 99 back up there in contention.
Gonna need some help. No doubt about it. As he'll be in the 10th spot here momentarily. Chris Wetz not too far up the road, but he's also got Seth Noel and Caden Rush closing in on the back bumper of that 99. They are coming in a hurry.
Definitely are, and Cozy's got to get by the lap traffic here. There goes Lane Tidwell there, and the only Dodge Charger in the field in the number 40. And Chris Wetz right there is for position. Chris Wetz is on a little bit of a different strategy. He's got 24 laps on his tires right now, and Frisch with, did I say Frisch? I meant Cozy. But one of the Michaels has 10 laps less on his tires, so he's able to make the pass very cleanly. So definitely not an easy path for Cozy, but we've seen him overcome stranger in these big races, so you never know with him. No Kias, Kian, unfortunately. Sorry about that. There are no Kias in the series.
I will miss Keenan the Kia Kusin.
The only Kia in
This
core.
summer. Fall, yeah.
What are you drinking there, Jacob? Heard you taking some gulps of stuff. Or was that producer Zach, who was very under the weather, by the way? So everyone showed their appreciation to Zach for, I don't want to say suffering through it, but suffering through it and putting on this broadcast for us. He's been here all season except a couple races. Bottom split's done, and we appreciate everything Zach does for FTF and the community. So big Zach Johnson fan. If everyone else is too, put your appreciations in the chat with hashtag thank you, Zach. There we go.
There you have it.
Just what we need.
I don't know if that was me or not that you heard, but I've got some Coca-Cola Zero Sugar with me and
an ice cold
water,
Coca-Cola product.
Yeah, not a sponsor.
Would love it to be a sponsor for FTF. So if anyone has connections.
How about this battle you see on your screen right now that we've conveniently been ignoring? This is third on back. Colonix, Reynolds, Michael Guest, Hawken lurking back there as well.
Reynolds has 2 laps less on his tires than Colonix and pretty much Tinsley and King, as a matter of fact. So maybe Blake can use that to his advantage to probably get back up to Kevin King. He's got roughly 3-second gap between he and King as he's trying to get to the outside of Colonix. Just can't quite do it. But Colonix, I'm very impressed by the speed Colonix has shown early on, and pretty much throughout this whole entire race. He's been up in the top 5 consistently. I don't think he's fallen out of it since the pit stop. So a very nice job by that 22 machine, looking to finish the season on a strong note to head into 2023.
And no wins this season. He's had the speed a lot this season, just hasn't been able to finish the job. He's got involved in a couple of wrecks late down the stretch and just has not been able to maintain the track position that he's had throughout the season. So looking for a good launch toward 2023, and right now that 22 sits in the 4th spot. He has yet to pick up a top 5 on the season. We've got 82 laps to go. Kevin King still out in front, 2.5 over Wyatt Tinsley in 2nd. And then you got to go another 2nd back to Reynolds.
Oh boy.
Who is in 3rd. And look at this mess back here. Matthew
Is
Zwack, Jordan Kuntz.
Spencer Burns there in that 06. This is a gaggle right here. And
That's
not
quarter.
not to throw a right ahead of Jordan Kuntz right there. That is Spencer Burns in the 06.
Yep.
But just
Quarter behind him.
Yes, just to kind of add some fuel to this fire, though. I'm not sure if it's been happening more, but Spencer has had some connection issues throughout this race. So looking solid now. We'll see if that happens. Is that Jonathan Oates running the wall line right behind them? I think Zach noticed that as well and went back to it. Well, we'll see if that works. I'm not sure if it does in iRacing here, Jacob, but hey, it's worth a try if you're back where these guys are. As here comes Kuntz to the inside of Burns, and yep, there's the aforementioned connection issues for Spencer for 14th, now 13th.
Yeah, Cole Freilich and Frank DeAngelis have both parked their cars. They are done for the night. Freilich was trapped a lap down, but DeAngelis was having a pretty solid run going. So he's decided to park the car. You see that's Matt Danson peeking his head out back there as well, trying to get through this.
That was close between Jonathan Oates and it looked like Jordan Kuntz there as Oates. Defending FTF GNS Series champion. We haven't mentioned that, so that league is now defunct, but definitely a championship pedigree in that 73 is, man, Ethan Corder. He has been just all over the place this race, and he dives to the inside of Burns for 14th.
He'll take that spot away. Let's see if Oates can get there on exit as Burns blinks out. Now he's back in. Closing in on the final 75 laps. The Barr Visual FTF Cup Series season this year.
Not missing anything towards the front of the field. Kevin King has put a little bit of distance between himself and Wyatt Tinsley. The lead is now up to 1.6 seconds. There you see Kevin. making his way down at the back straightaway. Still weird to say with this layout of this track. I'm so used to calling this the front stretch in this turn one, and you've heard a couple times on the broadcast, I still haven't perfected the new layout there, so it's going to take a while.
Yeah.
Thank you, NASCAR, for changing tracks and layouts and stuff. We appreciate it. Back here in this group, though, Matt Danson in the 30 car. These guys are just all under a blanket right here. Danson just passed Nathan Rabideau. Haven't mentioned Nathan's name at all pretty much since the starting grid. He's looking underneath Spencer Burns here for 17th, and that 06 continues to slip a little further back. Oh, man. That got tight. Here comes Nate Stewart in this battle. This is getting too close for comfort here.
Just a little bit. Rabideau, Nate Stewart, Spencer Burns in this 3-car battle for 17th, 18th, 19th.
The main reason for this, I think, is Spencer Burns. He's got about 3 to 4 lap older tires than the guys he's racing with here. So showed how short pitting can be good, but this shows how short pitting can be bad, as Spencer is still fighting for dear life for grip in that 06 car. So looking to finish out this season strong. And he's going to take his talents over to LOTF coming up next Thursday. So he's looking to start that season strong as well. As got another battle up here. Speaking of, CEO of LOTF, Michael P. Frisch, and Kyler Wynn duking it out for 8th.
You got Cozy right behind him as well. He seems that he's gotten things rolling a little bit there right behind him. Still showing some speed out of that 99. Just trying to claw his way back into this thing, but he's really hoping for a caution to get himself back up into the mix after burning his tires up in that first green flag stint that we had here. Got himself in a hole, and he needs to dig himself out of it, and he needs some help to do so.
Absolutely, and we mentioned that after the pit stops. Cozy starting to kind of find the speed in that number 99 again, but definitely going to need a caution to make his way back up through. But Cozy has about 2 lap fresher tires on that 82 of Kyler Wynn ahead of him, so he should be able to pass him here very shortly, if not send it into turn 1 here. Going to keep it there, but it is worth noting Blake Reynolds in that 66 car in 3rd place. He is the fastest out of the front 3, slowly starting to reel in Wyatt Tinsley there. In fact, he has kind of closed the gap a little bit. The gap is now down about 0.4 of a second ahead. So there you see them. As you saw Cozy, he did make the pass on Kyler Wynn just before we cut cameras there. So move Cozy into the 9th spot, but Blake Reynolds looking to kind of slowly ease up to Tinsley for 2nd.
Trouble.
We're hearing wreck in the dog leg.
Yeah, it's Scotty Smith up against the outside wall. He got hit by Caden Rush.
Caden Rush again?
Yeah, there was some contact on corner exit, and that broke the suspension, I think, on Scotty Smith's car. No meatball flag, though. He makes it safely to pit road, and we stay under the green flag.
Get a replay of it. So here's Scotty very wide through 3 and 4, and then you'll see Cade in that green yellow highlighter car just kind of runs him over. I mean, I don't know what else to say. We saw something similar with he and I believe Lucas Plussel earlier in the race. So that's twice Caden has gotten into somebody and took him out.
And I don't know if Caden thought maybe he was going to stay up toward the wall a little bit more and then came back down. And then at that point, there was nowhere for either of them to go or what the deal was there for Caden Rush. But nonetheless, contact is made and not much you can do about it now.
Absolutely
Here's
not.
a good battle. Hawken with a lap car in front. You've got Guest right behind.
And Hawken is one of the championship 4 here in this event. Again, as we alluded to earlier, the ticker on the left side of your screen, you'll notice the yellow names in there. Those are your championship 4 drivers. And Brandon Hawken is one of them. Got Kevin McAdams right behind. They're looking to get by. This is Spencer Ray. He's a couple of laps down. So hopefully Ray will give them some room to race cleanly here as Hawken gets to the bottom. Kevin McAdams comes up right behind.
Kevin has had one of the fastest cars all day long. And we know that he was in that round of 8. If he could have found a way to go to victory lane He could be somebody that would have been lethal here in this championship 4 here at this racetrack.
Maybe one day he'll get over the hump and get back to his NR 2003 glory days where he was winning every other week. Robert Dorman just came out of the pits and reported his right front tire was at 22%. How?
Yikes. That's, I don't think you're driving the racetrack right if your right front's at
I don't think you're
22% here.
It's in an 8-to-1 box. I don't know. That's rough. Dorman, if you're listening, put that thing on 16 or 250 or whatever the heck the pinion is in this car. And oh man, Kevin McAdams all over the back of Brandon Hawken, as you mentioned, Jacob. Kevin been one of the strongest cars throughout this race and looking to overtake a championship 4 contender. And McAdams moves himself into the top 5.
He's got the speed and he goes right by. He will move himself into the top 5, into that 5th spot, and this is allowed. Cozy, he gets by Frisch here. That gets 8th. Michael Guest is in front of him, potentially for 7th here. So Cozy is starting to whittle his way back toward the front of the field.
And it looks like he learned his lesson from burning his tires off that last run. He's done a better job of keeping his tires under control here. And he's got fresher tires than Guest ahead of him. Guest has 41 laps on his tires right now. Cozy with 36. So a 5-lap fresher tire advantage, and Cozy should be able to make quick work of Guest as they make their way into 3. So we'll see Cozy dive to the bottom here. Guest in that 74 will give him all the room he needs, and Cozy moves himself into 7th. So journey's not over for that first number 99. He's got another number 99 to take care of ahead.
Picking them up one at a time as we're closing in on the final 60-some laps here from Phoenix.
Should I say it, Jacob?
One more pit stop. Yeah, what's that?
We've had a fantastic long run. This has been the longest run of the race by far. Drivers keeping minding their P's and Q's. This thing could possibly go green all the way.
Not ruling it out, but also ruling it out.
Don't sound so confident, Jake.
The way they are driving right now makes me think, yes, they could make it the rest of the way. Knowing the guys on the racetrack, no, we're not making it the rest of the way. We're going to see at least one more caution, if not more than that.
Unbelievable. Have some confidence. Come on.
Well, I've had confidence before, and it hasn't worked out.
All right. Keenan brings up a good suggestion in the chat. Whoever wins between Cozy and Hawking gets to keep the 99 for 2023. Now that would be good if they weren't allowed to have like a small, little tiny number. And speaking of the 299s, they've approached each other on the racetrack here. Cozy right on Hawking. This is the battle for 6th. That would be a pretty fun thing, a little mini race. If people have like the same numbers like Cozy and Hawken, for instance, so one of them can be the main 99 for next year, and the other will have to put the little small number there. I kind of like that idea. Oh, look at how loose Hawken got there. There you see what I was talking about earlier in the race. Saw the rear end go around, and I'm still trying to figure out what that cutout is right next to Cozy. I was kind of giggling at it during your pre-race interview with him, but
I thought it was him.
I think it is him. It definitely is him. I don't know. Well, if we get the chance to talk to him after, we got to ask him about that.
It's about all I got.
Saw Ryan Naraki go by these guys like they were standing still. Naraki just came out of pit road, so he's got 1 lap on his tires, but he's currently sitting in the 31st spot. There it is. So it definitely is him. But like, he picks like the greatest screenshots from his YouTube videos and just throws it on there. It's definitely one of his reactions from either his NASCAR Heat or Formula One seasons, but nonetheless, he provides some of the best facial reactions in the business, Michael Cozy Jr. Probably why he's got a decent following on Twitch and YouTube. Maybe a hunch.
It helps.
Definitely helps.
No doubt about it.
That's one of the cutouts that they put in the stands for the Washington football team. Okay, that makes sense. So I guess they let the people in the stands that they use keep it. So that makes 110% more sense now. Thank you, Hamlin, for that.
That makes sense. Thinking about it.
Imagine
And,
being a Washington football team / Commanders fan right now. It's got to be a fun time.
I doubt it. It might be fun. It might be. Well, now hold on. It might be fun now, just because Carson Wentz isn't playing.
I guess. But you have, who's their backup? Taylor Heineke's their backup, I think.
The Green Lizard.
Yes. And they had one of those baffling moments I've seen in the game today, where he just heaved the ball as deep as he could into triple coverage, and one of the defenders ran it to the ref and allowed the Commanders to catch it. So that was, I don't know. I'm sorry, Keenan. We're talking about sports again. We'll stop. Sports ball no good and vroom vroom race.
Yeah.
So I guess back to our regularly scheduled programming again. Jacob Cozy, as you mentioned, is picking him up and putting him down. He has approached Kevin McAdams very quickly, and if I know Kevin, he will not hesitate to pull over and let him go.
He's gonna have a good shot here.
Michael Guest on pit road, so that might open the door for more pit stops, which should be the final stop of the race. There you see Cozy underneath Kevin.
There he goes. That moves Cozy into the top 5. We stay green the rest of the way, and Michael Cozy Jr. may have the fastest car out of everybody on those older tires and may be the guy to get the job done.
I'll answer that question right now. Yes, he is. Just looking at the time, so I'll save everybody the suspense.
Well, here's the thing. We need to make it that far first. That's why I'm, you know, if we do get a caution, that could complicate some things. But because does he have the fastest car when everybody has to burn their tires up? I don't know.
Kyler Wynn on pit road, the first of our front runners to duck in. So this will for sure open the proverbial floodgates for these pit stops. Spencer Burns is in.
Yep. So we'll have 50 laps to go next time by, and the leaders need to make one more pit stop to get to the end of this race on fuel and on tires, and this is where we really could see some carnage here. Guys pitting, getting fresh tires, coming back out, and they're going to be racing guys that are on the older tires and are going to be much, much slower. You saw Tinsley on pit road. Caden Rush just made his way onto pit road.
Jonathan Oates slowing down.
Yep. A couple more toward the back. Jordan Kuntz, Rabideau.
There was Blake Bryant. You see aggressively making his way onto pit road there in that black and white Dead Zone Racing Camaro. Now, where does Cozy fit in all this? Because we were just talking about him having the fastest car on the racetrack. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe the strategy for him is Brandon Hawkin now will make his way onto pit road. Maybe he stays out and anticipates that caution happening. So he's got the freshest tires, well, one of the freshest sets of tires of everybody towards the front. So maybe a roll of the dice would help in case he gets that caution. He would pin a lot of our leaders, well, contenders, a lap down. As there you see Kevin King now ducks onto pit road. So how will this force everyone else to react?
Just have to wait and see. Blake Reynolds stays out. So does Kalanick. So does Cozy. Kevin McAdams and Frisch do as well. That's your top 5. And I would expect all of them here to pit within the next 2 or 3 laps.
We'll see. So it looks like Blake Reynolds isn't really pitting either. So maybe the guys that are staying out going to elect to play the long game here. There you see McAdams. Michael Guest is going around these guys like it's nothing. He was one of the first to make the green flag pit stop for the undercut. I don't know, man. Jacob, as history has shown, the caution would come out soon, as Blake Reynolds has let us know he is pitting. So maybe it would benefit these guys to try and stretch it to see, hey, why the hell not?
David L. Brown busted for speeding on exit. He's going to have to come back around to pit road. Michael P. Frisch is coming into pit road this
Cozy.
time by. Here comes Cozy. He makes the call. He's on to pit road. Does he speed? No.
He's good.
He is clean.
He got in there
Well,
so aggressive. Wow.
Got to do what you got to do sometimes, especially when he lost so much time on pit road the last time by.
Take notes, Matthews whack. But now Kevin McAdams is the leader. So what does he do?
He's
Blake
coming.
Reynolds.
He's pitting this time.
See how Kevin's pit entry goes here. So does he step on it coming in here? No, it's going to be nice and reserved for Kevin McAdams. So it looks like Wyatt Tinsley's going to cycle out to the lead here. He came out ahead of Kevin King.
Yep.
And he's got this whole hornet's nest behind him. So
Now,
Wyatt Tinsley, a big green flag stop to the lead.
we saw this work after the first round of green flag stops. The people that pitted early came out in front, but after a couple of laps, the guys on fresher tires close in and blow right by him. So Wyatt Tinsley has the advantage for now. The only way this is going to work, though, is if he gets a caution. Kevin King is under a second behind, and he will continue to reel Wyatt Tinsley in until he's able to pass him, which probably won't be in too much time, given there's a lot of lap traffic, in which case Wyatt Tinsley's going to need a caution to get himself back into the picture. Guys like Cozy might be in the best seat as far as championship is concerned if we go green the rest of the way. Right now, he's back in 11th. His tires 4 laps fresher than Hawken, and a good couple laps fresher than Kevin King and Tinsley as well.
Well, I was about to say Tinsley has the benefit of clean air right now, but Matt Danson just changes all that as he almost bump and runs Wyatt Tinsley out of the way in turns 1 and 2. So now Wyatt has to deal with the dirty air coming off of Danson's car. Now only Nate Stewart stands in between Tinsley and Kevin King, and there you see Wyatt focused as ever on the cam as he's got Stewart to his outside, and here comes Kevin King with those 2 lap fresher tires. We'll see what Tinsley has to do to keep Kevin King behind us, but as we saw earlier, King so good at saving the tires here, especially at this circumstance, and Wyatt kind of goes down for the block a little bit. The only hope that we have for Tinsley is to hold Kevin King up as much as he can, but right now that 29 has been absolutely dominant here, and he's looking to get back up to the front, but Tinsley not going to let him do it.
David L. Brown has been black flagged for
Again?
speeding on pit road. He has been disqualified because he did not serve the penalty. He ran 4 laps out on the racetrack. He's been given the black flag with the white X. He is done. He is going home. David L. Brown, we will be seeing you.
It's a hell of a way to cap off your season. We'll be seeing you Thursday for LOTF as here comes Kevin King to the inside, but Danson's going to let Stewart go, so now they both have to fend off the dirty air from the cars ahead.
You've got more than 6 seconds back to Blake Reynolds as these two side by side for the lead and potentially for the championship with 40 to go.
And what are they doing ahead? That's Nate Stewart and Matt Danson. They nearly made contact as Tinsley's not giving up on this thing. He's staying up top, keeping King pinned down at the bottom. But that is keeping... Oh, trouble ahead! Stewart! Caution.
That's going to bring out the caution! Are you kidding?
Wow.
Kevin King just down in front of Wyatt Tinsley at the caution flag. Kevin King is going to be your race leader right at the caution.
Drama. Matt Danson and Nate Stewart coming together. What in the world? You guys saw it. We'll get a replay here in a second.
God, what is he doing?
Pit stops. Oh boy.
I mean, pit road is open. Your leaders are on pit road. Is anybody crazy enough to stay out? The answer's no. And Sean, I think there's too much time left in this race to try anything strategically as far as 2 tires versus 4. You got to take 4 in this situation with 39 to go.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, taking 4 now will set yourself up for taking 2 potentially later. And as history has shown, cautions do breed cautions, as we've beaten into the ground pretty much in this race. But yeah, this is definitely not the last we'll see of the yellow flag in this one, as Wyatt Tinsley now has a little bit of an advantage on Kevin King in the pits. He's down and away, but so is King, and Kevin King going to win the race on pit road. So now this race has essentially been flipped on its head.
Cozy, 2 tires, put him in 4th.
Wow.
He's 3rd off pit road. Matt Danson stayed out, and now he is going to have to go to the end of the longest line. So Cozy takes 2 tires and moves up into 3rd. Let's get a replay of the caution.
Well, we all had a front row seat to this, as there you see Danson in that 30 car, Stewart in the 4. Danson just, I don't know, just sends it in there on Nate and finishes him off. I mean, I don't know what to say to that one, Jacob. I mean, that was one of the more questionable calls we've seen. I haven't really seen Matt Danson race like that for a while, but that, not trying to cause a stir or anything, but that helps his teammate out quite a bit, get to at least the podium spot for the championship.
Yeah, that's a, wow. Matt Danson is a black flag, and now I think he's good. The sim gave him a black flag because he couldn't let everybody by in time. So, well, now it sounds like they may not clear this. Oops. So, choose cone. Kevin King to the bottom. Tinsley up top. Cozy down on the bottom. Brendan Hawkins stuck back in 9th. He chooses the outside.
Again, it's not over by a long shot. You know, Brandon Hawkins has plenty of time to get up here. And this is, we talked about it, this is not going to be the final caution at all. So brace yourselves, guys. Those of you watching, all 74 of you in this, you're getting ready to see something crazy as we look just off the rear of the cars ahead. Kevin King, you see, man, Brett Pancari, he gets to go by as a lucky dog. There he is, the VR headset for Brett Pancari, the iconic setup he's got.
Man, oh man.
Let's look. What does what say, producer Zach? It says
the sign on the wheel there?
It says something FTF for a great, I guess it says thanks FTF for a great 2022 season with the Princess Daisy, Peugeot, and First 4 Racing logos, and the Toronto Blue Jays t-shirt for Brett. Thank you, Brett. It's a good message. All right, here we go.
Here we go. Green flag. Gonna have 35 laps to go. Kevin King, your leader. Cozy to the inside, looking for 2nd. Here comes Hawkins up on the outside, further back in traffic. They're 3 wide. There's contact. Michael Guest and Alex Kolinick's beating and banging into turn number 1. They keep it straight. And
this is where Brandon Hawkins needs to get away from these guys. He is right in the thick of this. No, gets loose.
Look out. That's not good. Caden Rush into the inside wall. Nate Stewart gets through. Scotty Smith does not. Only 2 cars are in it. And we're back under the caution flag here at Phoenix.
And as we called it, this will not be the last caution in this one, and there it is. Caden Rush is pulled on to pit road. Seth Knoll probably not that happy. Let's see if we can get a look here. Seth Knoll with the save. Rush tried to sneak through. Nowhere for him to go. Good job by Nate Stewart avoiding that one. Great job, everybody, to stay away from that. That could have been a lot worse.
It's almost like those wrecks that you see going into turn 3 at Richmond, where just the track gets blocked. Couple of cars in the back of the field coming to pit road. Blake Bryant, Ethan Corder, Lucas Plussel, Tyler Lannon. We'll let them sort that out. We'll set up the field, set up the restart. We step aside. 33 laps to go, this time by Kevin King, your leader in the season finale. The championship 3, well, the 3 out of the championship 4 pick the outside line. Brandon Hawkin, the lone man on the bottom. As we get set to go for the restart, they just took the one to green. We'll get this green flag with 30 laps to go. So Kevin King to the outside, Michael Cozy Jr. to the outside, Wyatt Tinsley to the outside. You've got Kyler Wynn, Alex Kolnick, and Brandon Hawkin down on the low side.
And the only thing I'm thinking for Cozy right now is following Kevin King to get the same restart that he does. That's the only logic I can put behind that. But Kyler Wynn's gonna have the clean air to the inside as well. So we'll see how good of a jump these guys get on the restart, Jacob. But big implications. Can they keep this thing green too? So we might have a lot of cautions to wrap this thing up. So drama intensifying here at Phoenix.
It's all coming down to this, the final 30 laps. Here from Phoenix, yes, overtime is a possibility, but we don't want to think that far ahead. Great launch for Kevin King off the outside. Kyler Wynn does not get going downstairs. Cozy got a pretty solid launch as well as they rocket to turn number 1. They're almost 3 wide for position number 2.
Matthew Zwack in the back. Caution.
Matthew Zwack in that, Poulin, Tyler Landon all involved in the back half of the field. And the caution's out. Those were 3 of the last 4 drivers on the racetrack.
And we've beaten this into the ground too. That transition to the apron on the backstretch claims another one. Watch Jake Poulin, the 00. Again, just loses it. Nowhere for Zwack to go. That's Tyler Landon in the 64. Nowhere for him to go. Man, that's a tough break for those guys. Look at Brandon Hawkin. P3 after restarting 6th.
Yep.
Keenan is hyped in the chat right now.
So inside 30 to go. And while we're here,
who can we grab?
Well, I had one guy in mind, but
I got a guy
not
in
the
mind.
Discord. All right.
Well, we'll throw this guy in here because we always seem to do it.
That works.
Blake Reynolds. Blake.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
You're in the booth.
Hey, what caused that wreck? Because you guys didn't show the actual wreck.
Yes, we did.
I didn't see it. I'm watching.
It was Jake Poulin. Got loose on the apron.
You missed the actual wreck.
Which was?
Oh, there was
Where I
another
got wrecked.
one. Oh, Wyatt Tinsley's on pit road. I think he got a piece of that.
Yeah,
they wrecked up the road.
What happened, Blake?
Oh, this was after the caution. Wyatt Tinsley drove up. Kolnick got loose, got into Kyler Wynn. Wynn went up, got into Wyatt Tinsley, and Brandon Hawkin, I know who I'm talking about. Blake Reynolds got hit from behind by Michael Guest.
Is that what happened?
He had a two-piece there.
Well, no. I'm putting this on the 22.
Here it is.
Here's the replay. Watch the 22 of Alex Kolnick down on the bottom, 3 wide.
Oh, wow.
Drives it in a little bit and gets too loose and nowhere. Wyatt Tinsley, nowhere to go. That's huge.
Was the car destroyed, Blake?
I don't know. I mean, I'm racing for the Owners' Championship. I wasn't even trying to race there, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's the Owners gone. It's the only thing I was racing for tonight.
Oh boy. Well, we'll let you get back down there and figure it all out, but that's a disappointing one. Hopefully you can recover from that. Sorry, Blake.
Yep.
And oh man. The track's only a mile long. How the hell did we miss that?
I mean, I saw what happened on the backstretch, and I thought that was the initial caution, but we were definitely mistaken there.
Yeah. I thought that they weren't going to make it through turn 1, but I thought, okay, maybe they did after the caution came out.
Do we call that a broadcaster's curse because we said Alex was driving a heck of a race?
I think so. But hey, that lives up to his entire year. His entire year has been run well all day long. Late in the race, something happens, and it gets thrown all out the window.
Well,
Just
our
like
bad.
that.
Our bad on missing that one, guys, but you saw the actual wreck. Another guy I want to give the broadcaster's curse to / a shout out to is Ryan Naraki, currently in P7 right now, after starting 42nd in this thing. We've seen him make off-sequence pit stops pretty much all season, and that's what he's been known for in this. But he finds himself sitting up there. So, attaboy to Ryan Naraki. Speed Inc. Looking pretty strong. Maybe can help Kevin get up to the front of this thing. Who knows?
Just have to wait and see. Cozy chooses the bottom for this restart. Hawken and Kevin King choose the outside. Gonna have 25 laps to go on the restart. Here from Phoenix, it's King, Cozy, Oates, Hawken, Guest, Rabideau, Frisch, Naraki, McAdams, and Burns, your top 10. Field through 3 and 4, back into the restart zone. King on the gas, green flag.
Oh, Nathan Rabideau did not get a good restart on the outside there. He's going to check that whole outside lane up.
Here comes Cozy with the run on the bottom, side by side for the lead in turn 1. Cozy watches up the racetrack. There's almost contact. King flies by on the outside. Here comes Jonathan Oates, and Cozy's stuck in the middle 3 wide.
And Hawken goes around the outside to second. So Brandon Hawken, after restarting 6th last time, finds himself around the outside again, and he's right there to King.
Here they come down the front straightaway. Everybody down below that yellow line. Trouble. No, Rocky's around. Big crash. Matt Danson hard into the wall. Blake Reynolds, Nate Stewart, Ethan Quarter, all involved. It's the big one on the front straightaway. And congratulations, 2 for 2, Sean Butler.
Yep, I'm going to keep my big mouth shut from here on out.
Again, that apron transition. That got 2 guys. It got Rocky, and it got Quarter just behind him.
Oh boy. Well, let's see how this one played out. We'll get a replay of this one for sure. But yeah, Quarter and Naraki both at the same time. So watch Naraki, the orange and silver car up here, the 37. Just hits the transition, and then Quarter behind him was sideways. Blake Bryant with nowhere to go. Danson, Blake Reynolds goes through it. Andy Margo up there you see involved. Brett Pancari kind of finishes Naraki off. You see Nate Stewart kind of creeping through there. He got through okay. Man, that apron transition has been lethal in this race. Who was that? I think we got to go on board. I got to find out who that was. Was that green car was? I got to figure out who that was. Was that Corey Cook? It was Corey Cook in the 161. He was right there when this thing happened. He somehow squeaks through.
Oh my!
The lane just clears up for him right at the last second. So he now finds himself in the top 15. That wreck, one of the biggest I've seen at Phoenix for sure.
Yeah. That's the big one.
Tempers
Blake
are
Reynolds
flaring.
Is mad.
Yeah.
He says he's not mad, but that sure didn't make it sound like.
He's annoyed.
Yeah.
Jake Poulin.
Yeah, displeased right now.
Jake Poulin getting a lap back.
Yep.
Good on him.
We'll get this restart inside 20 to go. And the inside line there almost worked for Cozy. Just overdrove that entry into turn 1 a little bit on the restart. That cost him for a full lap. Cost him a couple of spots there.
Again, you got to keep in mind, Cozy is on 2 tires.
Yep.
So he is going to be struggling for grip regardless. And we saw it there. He was in front of Jonathan Oates coming out of turn 2, but he got very loose on the exit. Oates was just there, took him 3 wide. Hawken took advantage, went by both of them. And this is a brand new race. This thing, it's far from over. I know it says 21 to go now on your screen, but this thing is far from over. Complete opposite of the actual Cup Series race today, by the way. That went long green the whole time, and this, drama abound. So get yourself a snack, put your feet up. We're going to be here a little bit, but the action is going to be aplenty here to decide a champion here at Phoenix.
Going to be choosing here this time. You see Kevin King down on the apron. He juked him out the last time by. This time he stays on the bottom. Hawken goes to the top. Jonathan Oates goes to the bottom. Michael Cozy Jr. goes to the top.
Frisch to the bottom, as well as Kevin McAdams behind them.
So 19 to go on the restart.
Radio is still flooded with conversation about that last crash.
Well, actually, that's just Matt Danson asking for an EOL, which Justin Melillo says, just go to the back of the field. We'll clear the black flag.
Tell you what, man, when Brandon Hawken goes back and watches this VOD, he better have the chat up and see just how big a fan Keenan Kusin has been for him. Keenan has been here all the way. We appreciate Keenan showing the enthusiasm here for his guy. He's my pick too, Keenan. I'm hoping he wins this thing as well. No DraftKings set up for this or anything. Maybe down the line. We'll see.
Getting set for the restart. 19 laps to go. Here from Phoenix. 3 of your 4 fighting for a championship are here in the top 5. Kevin King, Brandon Hawken front row, Cozy second in the outside line. They're the 3 fighting for the championship. You've got Oates, Frisch, Guest, and more behind. Into the restart zone, another great launch from Kevin King. Green flag, Hawken does not quite get going, neither does Jonathan Oates. It's a hornet's nest from second on back.
5 wide almost through the dog leg. No big deal. Jonathan Oates to the inside in second. They are hitting each other going into one, but it looks like they're going to make it through. Hawken with a big run on Oates off of turn number 2. Cozy looking to follow him through, and they are 3 wide behind them.
Oh, Spencer Burns gets into Coots. They are going to save it up on the outside line. Maybe, yes, they will. We stay green as they hit the start-finish line. Cozy in third. Here comes Oates down on the inside. He wants that spot, looking for second on Hawken. It's all King through 1.
Jonathan Oates with a good run down the bottom. Will Hawken have a good straight exit? He will. Oates has to kind of check up on the exit. Hawken is clear of second. Cozy trying to be clear as well. And now Hawken has his eyes set on that 29 of Kevin King. So Brandon Hawken, just when we thought he was out of it here, too far back, he finds himself right there with a chance to get this championship. But he's got a huge obstacle to get around, and that's Kevin King at Phoenix.
Cozy gets clear for third. He is within striking distance of his first Barr Visual FTF championship as they come down the back straight away. Coming to 16 laps to go. Hawken known for being strong at the road courses. This place, nothing like it. But he's shown he can win on the ovals. He's done it twice this year, once at Indianapolis, once at Michigan. Then you got Cozy, the short track king, right behind. We know how strong Kevin King is here at Phoenix and many other racetracks on the schedule. And this top 3 may make it come down all the way to the wire if we can stay green.
Michael Frisch with a hell of a crossover on Jonathan Oates back there for 5th back there. He makes it work. So the front 3, fittingly, your championship contenders at Phoenix to settle it. Cozy getting a little bit of ground loss. He's going to try to make it up into 1 here on Hawken. Hawken goes to the bottom groove. King runs the middle. Now diamonds it off. I'll tell you, Brandon Hawken right there with Kevin King. Identical lap times as well as the rest of our front 3. It's definitely going to be a shootout to settle this thing as we're coming to 14 circuits to go around Phoenix.
This time by at the stripe, the fastest lap time that belongs to Kevin King. The lap before trouble. Rabideau's around, front straightaway. He saves it off of Wyatt Tinsley, but the caution comes out.
What do you do now if you are the front 3?
Well, again, that's Tinsley, the championship 4 driver, involved in that.
Get a replay here. There you see Nathan Rabideau in that 93 making his way back up through.
Let's see if we can get a replay here.
Let's see, right back here. There's Nathan Tinsley.
Oh,
again, he got the apron transition got him a little loose. He had to kick it out. He saved it, but Tinsley was just right there. Wrong place, wrong time there. Nothing really Wyatt can do there, or Nathan. That's just one of those instances of the apron. Fortunately, no spin or anything, but a little bit of a, I guess, precautionary caution to say the least. But definitely not what Wyatt wanted to see. He's got more damage to that 120.
Leaders stay out. Couple coming onto pit road. We've got Wyatt Tinsley on pit road, Kevin McAdams, and then most everybody else is the back of the field. Spencer Ray, Spencer Burns, Jordan Kuntz, and more. But the leaders are going to stay on the racetrack. Kevin King, Hawkin, Cozy, top 3 on the racetrack, your top 3 in points. Then Guest, Frisch, Oates, Plessel, Collins, Rabideau, Tyler Lennon, your top 10.
Official word from Justin Melillo, that was a safety yellow.
Makes sense.
Well, Jacob, we knew it would come to this. Are you surprised? I sure as hell am not. I had a feeling it was going to be like this at the end of this race. History has shown that this comes down to a race of attrition at the end.
Yeah, I just don't know if there's a way to beat Kevin King without slamming him into the fence, I'll be honest. He gets such a good launch on those restarts. It's going to take a lot for anybody to get within striking distance of him. It's just how fast he is, and you know, the longer we go, I think the later we get into the race, the less laps that we have, the bigger an advantage Kevin King's going to have. If we manage to stay green the rest of the way here, Hawkin might be able to track him down. It seems like on those longer runs, King not quite as strong, but on those shorter runs, he's darn near impossible to stop.
And definitely on these newer tires, Kevin King is, I would say, as you're right, as impossible to pass at Phoenix as anybody. As we heard all of our drivers in pre-race say, you know, this is Kevin King's favorite and best track. So Kevin, of course, one of the longest tenured veterans in sim racing, has seen just about every situation in his career, so to speak, in sim racing that anyone's been able to see. He's raced with the best of them at the highest level. So it's going to take a hell of an effort to get by that 29 car. But if anyone can do it, either one of these guys in the 99s will be able to get it done. So we'll have to wait and see.
They have chosen King to the bottom, Hawkin to the top, Cozy to the bottom. So Cozy's going to need a pretty good restart down on the bottom here to try and at least stay with Kevin King on the restart and maybe get to the inside and try and make it 2 or even 3 wide going into turn number 1. We'll get the restart with 9 laps to go.
No slouches behind these guys either. You got Michael Guest back there, Michael Frisch back there, Jonathan Oates back there. How about a Lucas Plussel top 10? I saw the chat talking about that earlier, so good to see Lucas in the top 10. Nathan Rabideau in there as well, and Alex Kolonix and Ethan Corder round out the top 10. So definitely not over by a long shot, but I don't think we're done wrecking either. So restart coming with 9 laps to go in the 2022 Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series season.
Here they come off turn 2 down the back straightaway. Pace car heads to the safety of pit road. They'll bring it around through 3 and 4, hit the restart zone, and get the green flag. Kevin King, Brandon Hawkin, Michael Cozy Jr., Michael Guest, Michael Frisch, your top 5. Oates, Rabideau, Plessel, Corder, Kolonix are your top 10. Through 3 and 4, into the restart zone. Kevin King on the gas, a good restart for him. Cozy side by side with Hawkin for second. They're off to turn 1. Kolonix is spun. He was in the top 10. We stay green. They're side by side for second. Kevin King out in front by 2-3 car lengths.
And here comes that outside line. Michael Guest trying to push Brandon Hawkin through. Hawkin clear to second. Cozy will clear up in front of Guest. And they are still fighting almost 4 wide behind him heading into 3. They're able to keep it going straight. Single file for the first 7 spots or so as Kevin King crosses another line. 8 laps to go here at Phoenix.
Brandon Hawkin needs to get to the back bumper of that 29 in a hurry. Will Michael Cozy Jr. let him get to the back bumper, or will he try and take second for his own? Hawkin with a great 1 and 2 pulls away on corner exit. He's got 2-3 car lengths to make up on that 29, coming to 7 laps to go.
And a great job by Hawkin, a great job by Cozy as well to keep those 2 tires underneath that car. How long will those tires last for Cozy? He's got a run coming up on Hawkin. Does he try it into 1? He doesn't. They know they've got to get to Kevin King, and with that dirty air hitting these cars, it's going to be very, very tough. Cozy knows if he gets side by side with Hawkin, it's going to be very tough to make this gap up in the amount of time we got left. But right now, still single file for the first 4.
Keep an eye on Wyatt Tinsley. He is in 7th. He's the fastest car on the racetrack on fresh tires, starting to move his way through the field. He may be running out of time, though. Kevin King continues to pull away. Hawkin stacking up the rest of the field, second on back through 1.
And if there's a caution, this could benefit Tinsley heavily. Again, he's got about over 25 plus lap fresher tires. So all we need to do is get one more caution in this race. This championship might belong to Wyatt Tinsley, but Kevin McAdams just ahead of him, also on fresh tires as well. So look at those two guys trying to plow their way through to the front.
Here comes Cozy to the inside, looking for second. Side by side behind between Guest and Kevin McAdams. Michael Cozy Jr. can't quite get clear of the 099, and Kevin King's got to be loving what he sees in his mirror. Here comes Kevin. He looks 3 wide. Now he gets back in line as Tinsley gets underneath Guest. Still side by side for a second. Cozy washes up. There's contact. Cozy's loose. He hangs on. Here comes Tinsley. 3 wide on the apron, headed to turn number 1. And trouble in the background. They're spinning on the apron. Jordan Kuntz is around. Ethan Court is around. We stay green. Caution. Now the caution's out, and Wyatt Tinsley's in second.
Wow. What a dream scenario for Wyatt Tinsley. Man, oh, he passed 4 cars through the dogleg to get to this point, and this is exactly what Wyatt Tinsley needed. Can you believe this? This could not be any better for Wyatt Tinsley. Has 25-plus lap fresher tires, and Kevin King, Brandon Hawken, and Cozy did not want to see this.
We're going to NASCAR overtime.
Man.
NASCAR overtime, that is. And here is the caution again. The transition, Quarter into Kuntz.
Man, I don't blame them for throwing that yellow. 2 cars.
Yeah, 2 cars.
Contact. Unbelievable. This race going to be decided by a late race caution.
Let's get a replay if we can here of what happened with Cozy there that stacked them all up and got Wyatt Tinsley officially into 3rd. He will restart 3rd on this restart.
I'll tell you, man, it looked like he was just following Kevin McAdams up through there because Kevin, as I mentioned, he's on fresh tires as well.
Cozy's on pit road.
Cozy pits, but he is a lonely man on pit road.
Yeah, at least out of the lead lap cars, there are, let's see, 22 cars on the lead lap. So he is going to have a long way to go. He just left pit road, 14.9 seconds in the box, so 4 tires. He comes out in 18th. He's going to need to pass 17 cars in 2 laps or more, depending on if we get more overtimes. Now, you have to look at tires. Kevin King's tires, 36 laps old. Hawken, 37. Tinsley, 10. McAdams, 11. Guest, Frisch, Oates, 37. Burns, Zwack, and Rabideau. Sorry, Burns and Zwack, 11. Rabideau, 37. Landon, 27. Cozy's on the freshest tires out of everybody. He is now officially in the 16th position after some others make their stops.
And again, for those of you that are new here, the overtime system for FTF, there are 3 green-white checkers. And if they make it to the white flag, the next flag will end the race. If they wreck before the white flag, we will throw the caution, stack them up, and do it all over again. So the only way that Kevin King can maybe hang on to this from a hard-charging Wyatt Tinsley on fresh tires is if this field just can't keep it together and wrecks 3 more times after this, and he can hang on. But this, all the advantage is on Wyatt Tinsley's car right now. It is up to him to get through both of these guys on fresh tires and keep that 20 ahead. And
how about, man, I tell you what, all 3 to the bottom here. Kevin McAdams to the outside. King, Hawken, and Tinsley choose the bottom. That is huge.
Scratching my head at Wyatt Tinsley for that one, choosing the bottom. Maybe he didn't know the choose was this time, but Kevin McAdams.
Or he thinks he can send it down on the bottom 4 or 5 wide.
Oof. I don't know.
One to go.
He's got the fresh tires, and a pass is not going to be difficult on Kevin King and company for Wyatt Tinsley. So that is a head-scratching move to say the least. But that puts Kevin McAdams in the driver's seat. He could very well win this race.
Sean, who do you got? Who's winning the title?
I gotta put my money on Wyatt Tinsley, man. The tires are gonna play too much of a factor. He's ready to go. He's hitting Brandon Hawken right here in turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but I got my money on Wyatt Tinsley right now. I know I've jinxed everybody I've talked about, but if Wyatt doesn't wreck it, he's going to put it in victory lane in this one.
We get another caution. Cozy might be the guy. Otherwise, I like that 120 of Wyatt Tinsley with where he's at with tires. We're going 3 laps over the scheduled distance, at least for now. If they make the white flag, the next flag ends the race. If they wreck again and the caution comes out before the white flag, we do this song and dance once more. Kevin King, Kevin McAdams on the front row. Another great launch from Kevin King. Remember, King and Hawken on the older tires. Here comes Wyatt Tinsley down to the bottom. He gets back in line. Kevin King out in front by 2-3 car lengths as they head to turn number 1.
Still all clear through turns 1 and 2, 3 wide behind them. Kevin McAdams has a run on the outside. Tinsley is boxed in behind Brandon Hawken. He's going to look to the inside of Hawken. Not going to be there. They need to wreck now. They're going to make it to the white flag. They did it. 1 lap to
Last
go at
lap.
Phoenix.
Here comes McAdams. He drops down into second. They're wrecking trouble. Big time. Cozy's hard into the wall. Cozy's out of the picture for your championship 4. Here comes Wyatt Tinsley. He drives it in deep. He's in second. He's clear of Hawken. He's clear of McAdams. There's contact behind. More trouble. Zwack and Burns crash. Here comes Kevin King. Go. Wyatt Tinsley sends it to the outside. He can't get there. Kevin King is going to win at Phoenix and win the Barr Visual FTF Cup Series Championship. What a race, what a finish. The dominant car of the night gets it done.
Unbelievable stuff. Kevin King, the wily veteran, keeps that 29 out in the clean air, dodges all the bullets, and Wyatt Tinsley with a heck of a send into turn 3 as a last effort, just not close enough. And Kevin King, you're not surprised, but definitely well done by Kevin. Well-deserved burnouts, and he finally gets that FTF Cup Series title that eluded him last year. Very well done for Kevin King and all the rest of our championship 4.
Multiple crashes there on the last lap. Everybody, I think, managed to get it back to the start-finish line. As Kevin King gonna burn down the house here at Phoenix. Coming away with his first Barr Visual FTF Championship and joining an incredible list of drivers that have managed to win the championship here in FTF.
And I can't help but wonder, the chat's wondering about it too, about Wyatt Tinsley's call to choose the bottom on that restart. I don't understand that. I think if he chooses the top, he could just motor around everybody and get at least closer striking distance to Kevin King. But I mean, it's all said and done for now, so we'll have to wait on a reasoning for that. But Kevin King parks that thing in victory lane, does the celebratory burnouts on victory lane. That's got to be expensive to replace. But Kevin King, your 2022 Barr Visuals FTF Cup Series champion. See what happened to Cozy here. Again,
Yep.
That's Jonathan Oates there.
Ugh.
Just the loose on the apron transition. I don't know how many times we've seen that take drivers out. And unfortunately, Cozy was the latest victim of that. I'll give him credit. He rolled the dice there at the end, tried to slap those tires on, maybe hope for a couple of other cautions to maybe end it. And this is what happened later on.
Yep. So Hawken gets into Kevin, but it's actually Burns that gets loose and gets turned around. Whipsaws comes back up into traffic. They keep wrecking up in front of him. And man, Wyatt Tinsley with a send just short.
Man.
Here at Phoenix. There's the contact. Frisch got a piece of that. Zwack up and into the outside wall. He gets drop kicked. Comes back down into David Cabrera. Oh, man. Jordan Kuntz comes piling in.
Lucas Plussel there you see in the pink car. And that Verizon car has definitely had great coverage all over Phoenix. I think he's about hit every piece of the wall here, unfortunately for Zwack. And that's not retaliation. The car just won't turn. But unfortunately for Zwack, just a rough go of it. It happens. But man, Jacob, what a damn race, man. What a great drama-filled last part of this race to settle it, and a much-deserving champion in Kevin King.
Drama, but no controversy. That's
Right.
what we like to see. Kevin King, your winner. Wyatt Tinsley in second. Brandon Hawken third. Those three part of that championship 4. Kevin McAdams finishes 4th. Michael Guest 5th. Michael P. Frisch 6th. Tyler Landon 7th. Jake Poulin, great finish for him in 8th. Spencer Ray 9th. Corey Cook finishes in 10th.
Keeping on going down the list, Chris Wetz with a great run in 11th, Brett Pancari 12th, Ethan Corder 13th, Alex Kolonix 14th, Matt Danson 15th, Tyler Williams 16th, Nathan Rabideau, Jordan Kuntz, Matthew Zwack, and Jonathan Oates 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th.
Spencer Burns finishes 21st. Michael Cozy Jr. tried it with the tires there at the end. Couldn't quite make it happen. He finishes 22nd, last car on the lead lap. Then Lucas Plessel, Lane Tidwell, David Cabrera, Robert Dorman, Andy Margot, Scotty Smith, Blake Reynolds, Blake Bryant round out your top 30.
And finishing off the rest of the field here, Seth Knoll 31st, Kyler Wynn, Nate Stewart, Ryan Araki, Caden Rush, David Brown, Frank DeAngelis, Cole Freilich, Brian LaPrade, Art Reimer, Devin Mistak, Matt Spalding, and Cosmin Yanishu will round out the field. The rest of these guys, Justin Malillo, Dylan Basin, Kwame Scott, Tyler Gary, did not start tonight.
We're working on the owner's points right now as we speak, and we'll have that to you here hopefully before we get to the end of the broadcast. But let's speak with our champion and our race winner, Kevin King. Well, how about that? Take us through those last couple restarts, because I'm sure up in the cockpit had to be getting a little nervous with those guys behind you on fresher tires.
Yeah, I saw with like 10 to go, they were like in 14th or whatever it was, and I was like, okay, it's not a big deal, because that's, you have to pass people on top of the speed advantage, which wouldn't have been, I don't think, too much, like a couple tenths a lap. And then that yellow came out, and they went from like 10th to like 3rd and 4th. I was like, oh no, this is not good. So I was definitely stressing out because, at that point, tires do make a big difference. I don't have that safety buffer, but I got to shout out Brandon. I asked him to take the bottom just to help us out, basically both of us, because if he takes the top, he basically gives himself no chance to do anything. So he took the bottom and then was able to kind of race them for a corner or two, which is kind of all I needed. So I'm really thankful for him for doing that. A little selfish of me, but I'm really glad that panned out.
What does it mean now to finally have gotten this thing? You are a Barr Visual FTF Cup Series champion.
I don't know if it's hit me yet. I've been doing this a really long time, probably longer than a lot of these kids are alive. And I've won some championships, which is sad to say, right? But I've been doing this a long time, and I pride myself on being competitive. I'm definitely not as fast as I used to be when I was younger. But to be able to race, really good people and not necessarily have fluke wins or just circumstances do it. Like, I actually went out there, ran competitive, won races, and then here, I felt like I put on a really good race the entire time, and thankfully it panned out. But yeah, it's I guess it's self gratification just knowing that I can still compete, because obviously I'm doing the pro stuff and trying to get to the Coke level. But with fixed setups, you don't really have the setup difference, right? It's just you driving it. So for me to be able to drive at that level, which is, still not as high as I'd like it to be, or compared to the really good guys like Casey or Graham or Bobby or Mitchell, things like that, to be able to race against who we have, it's still something else. So I'm just, personally really happy that I can actually compete and still get it done.
So what you going to do now? Now that you won the championship, what's next for Kevin King?
Oh man, I actually have to get to probably got to see what the kids are doing, the wife's doing, and I have to get to start testing for Homestead. We got a race on Tuesday. Then I got another race tomorrow, so I got to try to do another championship tomorrow. I was hoping to get at least one of the two if I could, not zero. The fact that I was able to get this one out of just really good stout people that I race against is something else. So I was hoping to get this one just because of the people I race against and just how it all works out. And yeah, I'm just going to take a really nice little break for about 20 minutes and see what's going on, and probably get back on there and start running laps again. So we'll see what happens.
Kevin King, congratulations. You are the 2022 Barr Visual FTF Cup Series champion. Congratulations.
Well, yeah, man. Thank you so much.
That's Kevin King, your race winner and your champion. Let's go to Wyatt Tinsley, just short in second place. Here's Sean.
Wyatt, man, that send at the end was close, but you gave it your best shot there at the end, man. Walk us through those last couple laps. What different could you have done to get to Kevin?
I mean, I could have chose the top on that restart, but like my starter was telling me that they were working together, which I had seen no point I mean, I guess being best friends. But overall, I mean, I think I went through hell and back, and to finish second is by far probably better than I thought I was going to finish after getting wrecked by Alex Alex once again. But yeah, the hats off to Kevin. He was the fastest car. I'm glad the fastest car won the race. I'm just glad I was able to have a chance. And I'm really grateful for this next gen damage model, because if not for this next gen damage model, I think I would not have been able to get up to the front there. But overall, I pretty much sat in P2. I was just trying to base off Kevin, and Cozy and Brandon Hawkin were battling there that after the first stage, and then I just kind of lost and the point into Kevin. And then when I got up to Alex there, I guess the tires just leveled off, and then my tire advantage kind of just went away when I got stuck behind them. So I kind of had to go off some offbeat strategy, and then I was able to get back up to him, and then Matt Danton and Nate Stewart happened in front of me, and then that's where all hell broke loose. And then yeah, of course, Alex Alex missing the corner there, and then me getting my damage. But I told my spotter that we'd be fine because I still had 30 laps to go left in the race. But overall, good race. Hats off to Kevin. I appreciate Benjamin White signing me, and then Carson being there too. And yeah, it was FTF Stolen, and just overall being how my season went, it's been up and down. I'm just glad to be able to get my first win, and runner up is not too bad. So I might and may not have a chance of getting it next season. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, pro on Tuesday, sitting P7 in points, just having a good race there, and just keep up with the minimum. Be good.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that it was a roller coaster and a half for you in this race. I mean, it definitely was. I mean, you got involved in those couple of wrecks there, but rebounded to finish second. I mean, we gotta kind of harp on the restart there. So you mentioned that you wanted to try to follow Kevin and Brandon down there because they were working together. So at any point were you just like, man, I really need to just kind of do the opposite of what they do no matter what because of the tire advantage, or were you committed to just staying where they were going to go because they were working together?
All right, well, the plan, okay, Kevin originally said he was going to take the top from his stream. I had my starter looking up there, and then I didn't expect Brandon to take the bottom with him, and I kind of just ran out of time there. And if I would have went over there to try to take the top to have a close advantage, I would have not been able to. I would have hit the line and EOL. So it's just missed guess. I wish the race would have just played out how it played out, and Brandon would have took the top and allowed me to take the bottom. But I guess we can't have nice things. So, I mean, it is what it is. And there's a time and there's a lot where you win things and you lose things, and it just happens. But I think I'm drained because I had to drive through the field like 3 times. So, I mean, it's just typical FTF race.
Yeah, but it's nothing to hang your hat on at all, man. You still drove a hell of a race there. Got up to second, and you still had you gave yourself a chance at the end with a pretty epic send in the 3, if I do say so myself there. But nonetheless, man, awesome job. Great job on P2 for the season. And anyone want to say hi to or thank before we let you go here and celebrate the second?
Yeah, I appreciate my grandma watching and everyone at North Sports Racing that does what they do and gives me an opportunity to be able to have a shot into Coke. So appreciate everyone. Good race, and I'll see y'all, I guess, next year, Daytona. Hopefully, maybe with the better black box, I would say.
Yes, sir, man. Well, we look forward to seeing you there, Wyatt. Again, awesome job, man. Congratulations, and go get him in the pro race coming up. Congratulations, dude.
Thank you. You have a nice one.
You're going to have it. Your second place finisher in Wyatt Tinsley. In third, Brandon Hawkins. So close. Coming right down to the very end. Is there anything that you could have done to get to Kevin King or get by Wyatt Tinsley and have a shot to win your championship?
Oh man, I'm not sure. On that second to last restart, I'm not sure what it was. If it was because Cozy was right on my rear bumper, but or something. I'm not sure. I just couldn't get the power down, and I was just like. Yeah, I was just trying everything, I found out the top side wasn't exactly working for me. I couldn't quite get the launch to stay even with Kevin. So I know he messaged me. He's like, take the bottom. But I was thinking more like, I just want to at least do my best to finish second. I wasn't gonna let anybody by there at the end if I could help it. But yeah, so I was thinking, you know what? I've tried the top like two or three times now. I'm gonna go to the bottom. I know Wyatt has four fresh tires, and I think if I gave him the bottom, it was gonna be like easy for him to get by me. So I faked the top, went to the bottom, and just hoping I could stay on the back of Kevin and hopefully be close enough to make a move on him. But just couldn't quite do it. I just didn't quite have the speed there at the end. But I gave it my all, and congrats to Kevin. He's really deserving of it, and great job by Wyatt too after that wreck to come back there with at the end and just about take it. That was some really good stuff from everybody. So I would have loved to get the championship, but top three, that's a podium in Canadian NASCAR, so I'll take that.
Well, nonetheless, a good try at it, to say the least. Those cautions in there toward the end of the race kind of helped you get back into this thing. You're down right around that bottom half of the top 10 for much of the race with the tires, and you all of a sudden were right back up in the picture when it mattered the most.
Yeah, I was feeling all right at the start of the race. I felt like I had pretty good speed. I was saving my tires relatively well, not quite as well as Kevin and Blake and all of them and Wyatt, and but I was hanging on there, and then after that after the track got a little bit darker, I'm not sure if I was just driving it a little bit differently or what, but I couldn't keep the rear tires on it, and I was just slowly falling back, and Cozy did a really good job. I think he almost spun or something. He caught right back up, and I was just hoping for a caution there at the end, because I feel like I'm usually pretty good on restarts, and I can think outside the box a little bit when it comes to that, but. I was there was I think it was Colin Nix. He got a little bit sideways, and there was that wreck that kind of like swept up the track. So it gave me about like 3 or 4 positions, and got me right back in the hunt. And from there, I was just trying to get as good of a restart as possible, and see if I could do anything to hopefully make her move around the outside or something. But I couldn't quite get there. But that was a lot of fun, and I've just it's just been a really great season. Thank you so much to Docket for riding along with me this entire season. It's been really good. And then Nexus Esports, and just like to hopefully if my dad's listening, he passed away a couple weeks ago. And I just like to he always enjoyed watching the races and everything, and he always looked forward to them. So hopefully we put on a really good show for everybody. I know I had a lot of fun, and hopefully everybody enjoyed it as well.
Well, nonetheless, Brandon, congratulations. And I guess we'll see you next year. Just like that, the season's done. And
it flew by.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, we'll see you at Daytona in the I would say in the springtime, but in February.
Springtime.
Oh yeah, I guess, That's February. It's not too long from now. So I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully see you guys then.
There you have it, Brandon Hawken, your third place finisher tonight on the racetrack and in the championship. By the way, the owner's title belongs to the driver's champion. That's Kevin King, the team. They get clean sweep. The owner's points. Team number 29 gets the owner's title as well. So Kevin King walks out of here head held high with the double, the 2-piece, if you will, and he'll have a lot of hardware coming his way throughout the offseason. So, Sean, a wild season and a wild last race.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like the season. It doesn't feel like the end of the season. I don't know why. I don't know if you got the same feeling, but it seems like it just started, yesterday for me. But it was a crazy season. I'm glad I got to participate in a few races here, and it was such an awesome season, such an awesome series. The admins do a great job, and I guess on behalf of them, big thanks to the sponsors of the league as well, Barr Visuals, Dalen Barr. They've been with us, I believe, the past 2 seasons now in the iRacing side. So huge shout out to Dalen and all the support he's shown the series. Couldn't do it without him. So very, very happy he stayed on board. But yeah, man, the racing was fantastic. Thanks to all the talent that came out as well. And especially everyone that stuck around and watched, all you guys that are still in the chat here, big thanks to you guys sticking around. And I don't know, should we get a word with maybe Justin and Kevin before we wrap this thing up for the season and see what the plans are? Should we do that?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if we can bug them really quick. I'm going to move them to the interview room, and we'll bring him up here. So sorry if you guys are working on something. We just want to, get your guys' thoughts before, we wrap up here. Another season in the books.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
I don't know. I got dragged in here like mid-sentence.
Oh. Well,
I think I know what you guys are asking for, but yeah, what a race. That was a real fun one. We had more cautions than I probably would have preferred, but we definitely had the drama. We definitely had some implications. We definitely had some tempers flaring. It was intense all night long. I really was interested to see how the different strategies would play out there at the end. The cautions were more wrenches that were thrown into the thing, and then that I really feel like that choose at the end was the defining piece to the end of the season there, where Hawken ended up kind of blocking Wyatt there and taking that low lane from him. So congrats to Kevin King on a absolutely perfect season run. It was really, really fun to watch him and watch all of our championship competitors this season. This is honestly one of the happiest that I've been to see a season end, and for all the right reasons, because of how well everything worked, as far as like we weren't ripping our hair out like we have been in past years, but yeah, it's real fun. We're gonna take an off season now. I don't know if I'm getting much of an off season. I gotta actually get back to racing tomorrow night and Monday Night Racing, but we're gonna have our season restart on February of 2023 with Speed Weeks. Our FTF Barr Visuals 500 Speed Weeks will start on February 3rd with Pole Day. So we'll take a little bit of time off from FTF. We'll get back to it, get the rules package and everything all sorted out for next season, and get the proper changes and stuff in play. But yeah, it really, really fun. Huge for me and Kevin and Jake and Cosmin and everybody that's involved with Zach, and just can't thank everybody enough, especially the sponsors and all y'all for what you do. I'm so happy. It was such a good night, and so happy for Kevin King.
Kevin, anything you want to add?
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we've had some people who doubted that we could be where we are right now. We had over 180 people participate, and we had a full field pretty much every race. And I think you can't ask for anything more than that. And I think with you guys in the booth, we have a really good community that not only watches but races with us. I think they carry over to other leagues. We got Legends of the Future coming up with Frisch and you and Zwack and heading that. So I anticipate that being really fun. So if you like the 87 car, be sure to show up on Thursdays around 8 o'clock. It's going to be a lot of fun. But as far as FTF's concerned, I think anywhere we can go is up. And I think having Kevin be our 2022 champion is just an indicator of just how prestigious this league can be, how hard it can be for someone like Kevin, who is a former Coke Series driver. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication, and we had people, especially at the beginning of the year, that would try qualify every single week, and through perseverance and just sticking with it, they got to race and got to run with some of the best. And we having over 180 guys is just amazing. We have guys that are 13, 14 years old, like Jonathan Oates, and then we got Andy Margot leading the pack in age at a very young 82. So if you think you have the limitations to run a league, that you just think again, because there's a league for you, and FTF is definitely one of them if you're more than willing to put in the time and effort. But great year overall. I don't think anyone has any big complaints. If you do, bring them to us so we can be better for next season. But looking forward to Daytona. Looking forward to a very long off season. I think we all need it. I think it's good to kind of take a break. We do a lot of work on the back end that not a lot of people see, especially Justin. He basically works a full-time job just managing FTF, and then he has his real job. So all thanks for him putting in all the work. Without him, we wouldn't have this league. And yeah, that's about it.
There you have it. Thank you, gentlemen. And we will see you February 3rd for the start of the new season. There's a lot that's going to happen, though, between now and then. Let's see. The Autobahn Series is back tomorrow, 9:15 from the Red Bull Ring. The 87 Series, that we need to stop using this acronym because I don't know what it stands for yet. That starts Thursday. Legends of the Future, thank you. That's Thursday, November 10th, 8:45, starting the season at Talladega. And then SimCar's back in a couple of weeks, Thursday, November 17th, 8:30, wrapping that up from Sebring. And of course, the 2023 Barr Visual FTF Cup Series, that begins with Pole Day, Friday, February 3rd, the year of our Lord, 2023. We'll be here with that and a whole lot more at FTF.GG. In the meantime, for Kevin and Sean at FTF, for Zach Johnson, our producer, all season long, for all the voices that have been in the broadcast booth this entire season, Sean Butler alongside with me, I'm Jacob Pitts. Kevin King is your champion. We'll see you in 2023.